last time you checked your home title? Scammers are targeting your equity with just a single forged document they file at the county. So don't wait until it's too late. Find out if you are already a victim today. Please go to HomeTitleLock.com and use promo code BILL to get a free title history report, plus a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. On this Tuesday, Chicago will lose its foolish showdown with the Trump administration. This past weekend, a crazed woman with a rifle in her car tried to run over 3 ICE agents who then shot her. Almost immediately, the president asked Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker to provide National Guard protection to federal authorities, but the leftist fanatic Pritzker refused again. Why? Because old JB says the Guard is not needed. Do the people threatening ICE agents have to have hand grenades, mortars? What exactly is the tipping point, Governor? The Constitution clearly states when state officials will not enforce public safety statutes, the federal government has the power to step in. So the legal outcome of this controversy is not in doubt. However, Pritzker doesn't care about that. He simply wants to placate his far-left supporters, and if people have to die, well, they have to die. As everyone knows, Chicago is a killing field for young African-American men. The drug gangs have been murdering at will for years. JB has done little to stop the madness or even discourage criminal migrants from terrorizing Chicago. The whole situation is absolutely shameful. The feds have to act. Back in a moment. What happens when flu season hits and your medicine cabinet is empty? Don't get caught off guard. All Family Pharmacy makes it simple to prepare. If you want to be proactive with your health, this is the pharmacy for you. Stock up now on Tamiflu, antibiotics, antivirals, ivermectin, immune support, and much more. Delivered fast with a doctor's prescription included. Visit All Family Pharmacy, one word, allfamilypharmacy.com/Bill. Use promo code BILL to save 10%. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor for all your roofing needs. Visit ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER Roofing.com. Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand.
Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so, he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
Good morning, freedom fighters. Good morning, Kenny.
Morning, Vic.
You know the phrase "hesitation kills." You know that phrase?
Oh yeah.
Well, I hesitated. I waited to take a sip of coffee, and then it was too late.
It kills.
As soon as Al Pacino says, "What kind of show are you putting on here today?" If I don't, the sip, it's like the point of no return.
Now, on a more serious note, with that type of theory, if you're driving a car, hesitation does kill. I always think about that. If you hesitate, stop. Just don't go. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
If you're in an intersection, you go, don't. Just stop.
Same thing for if somebody breaks into your house, right? His hesitation kills.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pull that trigger if you have to.
That's right.
Okay. Tuesday morning, Nick Schroer couldn't be with us today, but Ben Keathley, Representative Ben Keathley, is going to be with us from District 101. He's coming up in just a minute. I heard it on the X. When we talked to Dr. Tobler today, Ken, I got some interesting thoughts in my head.
Yeah.
About when you see a drug commercial on TV, they list off all the side effects, which could be anything from a runny nose to suicide, so many side effects, but yet we don't hear any of the side effects on a drug that could change your gender, change your sex. Interesting. So we'll talk about all that, and Ben Keathley coming up in just a sec. But first of all, we have to do the Pledge of Allegiance. And I have to ask my friend Ken, who is doing the Pledge of Allegiance for us today, Ken Williams.
How about Representative Ben?
Really?
Yeah.
When did that
I
happen?
just now asked him.
Oh, he's going to do it for us live.
Yes.
Well, Missouri Representative Ben Keathley, how are you? First of all, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Good. Can you do the pledge for us?
Absolutely.
You go right ahead.
All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah.
So, Representative Ben Keathley, District 101, you hang out with riffraff like Nick Schroer, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I hang out with a rough crowd.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The flamethrower. And Nick and Ken and I, we talk about so much stuff. Some of it's happening, and that's great. Property tax, personal property tax. And one of the things we bitch about, Ben, is that the supermajority that the Republicans have had for so long and haven't taken advantage of it. And I still can't figure out how that happens.
Mm-hmm. Well, there are a lot of things going on with that. I think one thing is people forget that it wasn't that long ago that we had blue governors, and a lot of the bureaucratic and administrative state is still there. It needs to be dismantled. That's why Senator Shore and myself do things like judicial deference. I sponsored the REINS Act last year and will again next year. It's because we have to rein in all these unelected bureaucrats who are still giving us blue results. The other problem is people need to show up in August. The real elections aren't happening in November in Missouri anymore. They're happening in August. And when you don't elect convicted conservatives in the August election, you won't get a convicted conservative government.
All right, let's start there. Let's just stop right there. So many people, you know what I'm learning, Ben, is that some people just the way they consume news, and some people I'm realizing more and more don't consume news at all. They just don't like news or whatever. And those are the people that completely miss out that, oh, there's an election day in August. Wait, today's election day? I thought it was in November. And the important thing about it is, of course, what you just said, the real election is August, not November.
Right. And I keep telling people, we have a super majority of Republicans. We have plenty of Republicans in Jeff City. What we're short on are conservatives. And that's really where we need to start making those changes. And there's no way to do that. By the time you go to show up to vote in November, it's too late. The primaries are over, and your choice is between usually a progressive Democrat and whoever came out of the primary. And if you don't engage, if conservatives aren't engaging in the August election, they're not even getting a conservative choice come November in a lot of places.
All right. So we get our hopes up every election, every legislative session on something about property tax and personal property tax. It's like when you go to the store and buy a hammer, right? You pay for the hammer and then you pay the tax, and then that's it. You don't have to pay taxes on it anymore. But for some reason, your car and your house, you got to keep paying taxes on stuff you've already paid for.
Yeah, it's as if you don't even own it.
Exactly right, Ken. So what can we expect, Ben? Give me some good news.
Well, during the special session this past September, I filed HJR 5, which would eliminate the personal property taxes. I think it was kind of, filed very quickly, trying to get stuff in what was certainly an unexpected special session to address anything property tax related, but we at least got through a committee hearing. I'm going to continue pushing on that. I think it's real important that we start cutting down on the personal property taxes. Certainly things like people's personal vehicles. We don't need to keep charging people an arm and a leg year after year with a tax bill that's due right around Christmas time. It's obnoxious. It's overtaxation. I think Missourians are tired of it, and we can do better.
Here's just a crazy example, but like you mentioned, the personal property tax comes up at the end of the year. If sometimes it's depending on how many cars your family has is a hefty thing, and you have people whose tags are expired right on their license and on their license plate, and then you get pulled over, and then you have to say to the cop, times are tough. I haven't paid the personal property. And sometimes if you're nice to them, they'll give you a warning or whatever. But that shouldn't happen to begin with. That you can't afford to pay the personal property tax to put the tag on your license plate, Ben.
Right. And you got people going into arrears. And the thing that I've always found completely unjust about it, besides the tax itself, that you're paying the government for, for leasing stuff you supposedly own. But the other problem with it is they have, they spend 2 years coming up with these assessments. They spend, 9-10 months getting the bill out to you. And then the bill comes to you in November. It's like, pay it in 30 days or else. We're going to hit you with all these penalties. We're going to make you ineligible for office. We're going to hit you with all this interest. And we're going to start collecting. If it's your real property taxes, we might take your home from you in a tax sale. It's you give people days to pay when the government has months to generate the bill. And I think Missourians feel hard done by it, and I can't blame them. I certainly feel hard done by the property tax system.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to school boards and stuff. Before 2022, even people who did consume news, I don't think paid attention to school board elections. But then in Fairfax County, Virginia, they were, criminalizing parents of kids who go to school. And then all of a sudden, oh my God, school boards, let's start thinking about that, right? So we're pretty close with the Francis Howell district because Jane Pushkar is a great friend of ours. And now the Rockwood district is having an election. What's going on there?
Well, we talked about people needing to show up in August. They also need to, when we're talking about property taxes and school boards, these things are decided in April where we even have even lower turnout. In this case, Rockwood has put a huge tax hike on the ballot with a lot of bad implications on it for a special election this November. Now, they know they're going to get little turnout. They're going to spend over 6 figures, it looks like, in their own get out the vote, quote unquote informational campaign. They can't call it an advocacy campaign because that would be illegal. But they can go to they can go to PTO parents, people who are most likely to support the tax, and in certain areas, and then make sure they turn out to vote while everyone else forgets there's an election happening in November. And then the result is that people don't even know there's an election going up because they sneak it through, and everyone's going to get hit with a huge real property tax increase following that election in November.
And, we learned so much sneaky stuff is going on with mailers that go out to people in their mailbox. And I believe, Ken, help me out on this. Sam Page, I thought, got himself in some trouble, didn't he? With mailers that went out.
Yeah,
he used I don't know where the money came from or something.
I think there's still an investigation going on with that because he actually was allegedly using money from the city or the county for his own benefit, for his own personal agenda.
Here's a guy, Ben, that didn't think about the county charter and what it says in there and just kept on being an anesthesiologist when all his time is supposed to be dedicated to being county executive. I mean, this is the kind of stuff we have to shut down, I think, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and unfortunately in St. Louis County, it's becoming the norm, that we have county executives who behave this way. I tell people, we're told we live in a red state, and we've mentioned the reasons why we're not getting, real, truly red policies from the state government. But man, if you live in St. Louis County, you really don't feel any benefit of living in a red state. We're in Cook County South down here.
Yep. And, I was surprised, I was shocked actually to find out that St. Louis County is like 60-40 blue. And I was like, well, how can that be? I mean, you just ride through some of the great neighborhoods in St. Louis County, but then there are other neighborhoods in St. Louis County that, oh, okay, now it makes sense.
Yeah.
We might be 60-40 blue, and I think, I don't know if it's quite that drastic, but it certainly is a blue county. But the thing that's most unjust about it all is you have more Republicans living in St. Louis County than you do in any other single county in the state, just because of the sheer population numbers, which means the county with the most Republican voters in it is stuck living under the tyranny of a blue county government. It's just awful the way it goes. And that's what, that's something that state government can help out with, and state government needs to start reining in the endless property tax hikes that school boards and blue county governments are doing. Start reining in some of these bad local practices that jack up the sales tax rates, that overregulate our businesses through, permitting and licensing. It's just too much red tape on the local level, too much taxes on the local level, and our state government needs to step in and start delivering real red results when our local government fails to.
And we're talking to Missouri Representative Ben Keathley from the 101st District. Keith, or Ben, I have to believe this, that there are, even though it might be 60-40, there are Democrats out there that they're saying, look, I don't think this personal property tax thing is good. And I think that my own party has gone so far left now nationally that I don't even think I would might even quietly vote for a Republican. What are your thoughts on all that?
Well, I hope that's true. I haven't seen it quite yet. I mean, Mantovani got it close against Sam Page the last time he was up, but we're still not there where they're actually pulling the lever for Republican candidates. At the end of the day, I don't know who these people are who are left voting for people like Sam Page year after year. I mean, there used to be a time where there were some reasonable people on the other side. Now it seems like all we get are radical progressives or just downright corrupt politicians from the left. And it's the voters at some point are the ones who are responsible. I think it was Winston Churchill said democracy is the idea that the voters deserve to get what they asked for, good and hard. Well, we need to stop asking for this and ask for better politicians and better policy from our officials.
And maybe the fact is as Dan Bongino would put it, we're not suffering enough yet. We're not hurting enough yet.
Haven't hit rock bottom.
Haven't hit rock bottom. Yeah.
I shudder to think what rock bottom looks
Right.
Right. That's scary. I don't want to ever go there, but maybe that's what's going to take to make the Democrats respond in the way we're talking about.
Yeah, I'd hope I look over to the east and see St. Louis City. And if that place hasn't hit rock bottom, we don't know what rock bottom.
Wow, you're right.
Yeah, but they still can't elect decent politicians. So, the idea that we'll ride this thing all the way to the bitter end and then come out smelling like I don't know that I can stomach much more of it. I think it's time to save our government and save our republic now.
Absolutely. All right. So Nick Schroer is the vice chair of the Joint Committee on Administrative Rules. What do they do exactly? What does that committee do?
Well, yeah, and I'm the chairman of that committee. That committee has not been fully used until Senator Schroer got on there, and then now myself. But it can be a really good force for some good. We talk about needing to rein in the unelected bureaucrats and cut all the red tape. That's really what that committee is designed to do. Too many rules and regulations are put in without any law being changed by any of your elected officials. They're put in by the bureaucrats when they promulgate rules. Those things need to be cut back, and they require legislative oversight. JCAR is our weapon to do that. JCAR is our way when a state agency and decides that they're going to cross over from rulemaking into lawmaking, put over restrictive regulations in, JCAR can come in and stop that and say, no, we're going to slow down your rulemaking. We're going to put you back in the legislature and let the elected officials actually decide if this is a good idea or not. And so we've tried to be a lot more aggressive with that process, inject JCAR a lot more, and engage in a lot more oversight over these agencies.
Well, you and Nick are a good tag team there, so you guys keep up the good work. Mm-hmm. Missouri Representative Ben Keathley, District 101. Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate you.
Take care, guys.
Yeah, take care, Ben.
So Tim and Chris are going out. We let them out?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
It's going to be fun.
This Friday at Harpo's in Chesterfield, you bet, for a live broadcast and happy hour from 4 to 6 o'clock, located in the heart of West County. Harpo's Chesterfield, excellent sports bar atmosphere, spacious patio. It was actually voted best in West County. Your one and only stop for all things fun, food, and drinks. Nobody ever concentrates on that.
We got to concentrate on that, I think, sometimes.
Fun, food,
and
you have
drinks.
To. Go to harposstl.com for more details and see Tim and Chris this Friday at Harpo's in Chesterfield. All right, Kenny, when we get back, I heard it on the X. Okay?
Let's do it.
That's next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home.
Like and subscribe to us on Rumble. News Talk STL. The Vic Porcelli Show.
I wouldn't sell my bike for all the money in the world.
If they have to pay out $159 billion.
Not for $100 billion, million, trillion dollars.
Over $1,300,000,000,300 million.
You're crazy. I know you are, but what am I?
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
Still waking up like you fought a bear in your sleep? Yeah, let's fix that. This Labor Day, starting September 5th, save up to $725 on top brands like Tempur-Pedic, Serta, and Beautyrest, only at Snooze Mattress Company in Chesterfield Valley. Here's the real game changer, Dream Mapping. We scan your pressure points and match you to the perfect mattress. No guesswork, just real comfort, personalized for you. Plus, 0% easy financing and local no-pressure service. Get in here, because if you don't snooze, you lose.
NewstalkSTL is proud to have Doug Voss of Safe Bunny Radio as part of our lineup each week. Doug has been a staple on the St. Louis radio airways for many years as one of the leading financial experts in the area. You can now hear Doug and Safe Bunny Radio every weekend on NewstalkSTL. But in case you miss anything, you can check it all out at DougVossSafeBunnyRadio.com. What else do our listeners need to know, Doug?
Simply put, I focus on helping pre-retirees and retirees build, preserve, and protect retirement assets, and I've been helping my clients solve their insurance and financial needs for the past 33 years. I also strive to educate my clients on how to prepare for retirement, minimize the impact of market volatility on their assets, and deal with the challenges of increased longevity. Call me today at 844-676-SAFE. That's 844-676-7233.
Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through DHL Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
Hi, Sean Long from STL Fenceworks. A new fence or deck is an investment in your home and your lifestyle. But how do you ensure that you're getting the most out of that investment? At STL Fenceworks, we know the key is satisfaction. Satisfaction means getting a fence or deck that not only meets your needs, but exceeds your expectations. Satisfaction means working with a team that cares about your project as much as you do. Satisfaction means having confidence in the quality of your new fence or deck, knowing that it was built with the best of materials and workmanship. STL Fenceworks, your satisfaction is our passion. And for me, satisfaction is knowing that providing for your family is how I provide for mine. Visit STLFenceworks.com and experience the satisfaction in making your backyard dreams into a reality.
The latest news.
The conservative political activist Charlie Kirk has died.
Happens right here.
The arrest is a testament to the dedication of good law enforcement. Partners are proud to stand here today together to bring justice.
1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019.
Always reaching out in vain. Hey y'all, this is Killer Bees, world famous comedian, part-time swimsuit model. You are listening to my brand new best friend in the world, Vic Porcelli.
The criminal system has had a disparate impact on Black and brown communities. Let me lead with that. So when this person is committing 6 or 7 crimes, I don't know his or her story. Maybe they were abused as a child. Maybe they're hungry. So my remedy is to find their life story to see how we could help first. I have no desire to put them in jail, but I need to protect you. And that's the calibration that we have.
So that's a little tease.
Yeah.
For what we're going to do next break.
Right.
To show you how crazy the mayors are in this country.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody may be hungry. So I'm not going to send him to jail. They may be hungry.
Right.
What's your defense? Well, Your Honor, I was hungry. Oh, okay. Not guilty.
Well, then you can damage the lives of all those different families, those 6 or 7 crimes that we're talking about here.
And Mondami's on the same page as this knucklehead.
Big time.
You know?
Big time.
All right. I think, Ken, if I look at my clock, it may be time for I Heard It on the X.
Anywhere, y'all. Everywhere, y'all. I heard it on the X.
All right. I heard it on the X. Kenny and I just scroll through X, find some good posts. Some are funny, some are very poignant, some are salient, some are just nonsense, and we like them all.
Yeah,
like them all. So let's start with American Trucker. That's his name on X. He says, I really don't care if Bad Bunny is singing at the Super Bowl halftime show because I quit watching the NFL when they kneeled for our anthem. There's a bad word there before kneeled.
And he actually reminded me when I read that of the reason why I actually originally stopped watching, because I forgot about Kaepernick. I don't even know why I forgot about him, but he was the original.
Mm-hmm. And then he moans, nobody will hire him as a quarterback. First of all, sometimes there's a grief to success ratio. I get that, people that are very hot-headed in radio, You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
sometimes they're hard to get along with, but boy, they get great ratings, so we'll have to deal with it.
Yeah.
And he wasn't even that, Kaepernick. He just sucked.
And that's the bottom line here. The NFL, I'm sure, especially because there's like such a quarterback drought in the NFL anyway.
Yeah.
You know, if you've got a quarterback, if he was good, they'd be like, well, you know, he's kind of an ass, but you know, let's just try to keep him.
Any military family that saw that, him taking the knee during the national anthem, how are they supposed to feel? You know, even if they don't really lean right, if they're just patriots and veterans, how do they feel about that?
I know how I felt when I first saw it. And again, this reminded me of it. The moment he did it, I got a chill, like, what in the world is happening?
And look what it started. It started Pelosi and the rest of the gang there bending a knee for George Floyd.
And then he gets a
drug addict.
windfall by Nike and other sources, other advertisers saying, yes, we're going to join this virtue signal with you. You suck, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to give you the money because you suck.
All right, next one. X name is Rudy W. Giuliani.
Oh.
Former Mayor Rudolph Giuliani. He says, I'm proud to endorse my friend Curtis Sliwa for mayor of New York City. Curtis is a New Yorker's New Yorker with more experience fighting crime and caring for the vulnerable than all the other candidates combined. Join me in supporting Curtis Sliwa for mayor of New York City. I'm all about it.
Yeah, I know you're a big fan.
All about Curtis Sliwa being the mayor of New York.
Now, I've always liked Curtis Sliwa when we would hear about them in the Midwest. Okay, the group, his whole group. We would see them walking around, not doing anything harm, but they'd be walking around saying, okay, we're here in case anybody needs us. I thought it was great, Vic, but you lived it. You were there. And I think that's that's an important designation of you being in the area and watching what an impact he had on the area.
I've walked those streets of New York. I've walked them feeling safe, and I've walked them feeling unsafe. And we saw those guardian angels walk by with those red berets. Suddenly we felt safe.
Okay.
And what a great name, the Guardian Angels.
Right.
Okay, this is Rose Smith, who said Trump just deployed the Texas National Guard into Chicago. Law and order is back. That's Rose. I don't know Rose. I'm just saying.
No, but how can anybody dispute law and order? I still don't understand the Democrat Party.
I don't understand when you're the mayor of a town that is ravaged by crime and chaos, to have a president of the United States who you hate offer you help. Let me clean up the city for you, and then you'll look like a better mayor, and maybe you'll get reelected.
Totally agree with that.
But because they hate Trump, they can't go along with any plan that he has.
Well, how about Chicago this past weekend? Over 50 people were shot. 4 or 5 died. That's in one weekend, Vic.
How do they? What do they say on Monday? What do they say?
Oh, we don't need your help. We'll take care of our murders.
Well, it was a pretty good weekend. Only 4 people died.
Yeah.
Right?
Only 50 people got shot.
Right.
I mean, but hey, what is the ratio between 4 people dying and 50 people being shot? That's pretty good, huh?
It's just amazing to me. And this moron that we heard at the beginning of the break there, Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell. I mean, we don't want to put somebody in jail. They might be hungry. So let's get them a sandwich.
We don't know what their situation is. I mean, if they do 6 or 7 crimes to other families, you don't know their situation.
Ken, it exasperates me. It just exasperates me. It makes me go,
I know.
Yeah.
A sigh of disappointment.
A sigh is just a sigh. Okay. Nick Sorter. You've seen the video of him in Portland getting arrested.
Yes.
He saved an American flag. I don't know if you saw that video.
Yeah, he did.
It was burning, and he took it and he put out the fire on the flag. He was doing these great reports in an area. He found an area where he wasn't going to get accosted while he was doing live TV hits. And he was saying, it's outrageous how the ICE patrol and police are being treated. Now, I'm sorry, that leads me to one more thing, and then we'll hear Nick and Nick's thing. Yesterday, I saw a Democrat. I don't even know what his level is, if he was a mayor, if he was a senator, if he was just some stupid Democrat. But he's standing in Portland, and he found 2 square feet of peace. There was a tree and a car and him. And he goes, look how peaceful Portland is. I'm like, what? Do you think we're all stupid?
Yeah, that's exactly what they think.
I was so angered by that. Look, it's nice and peaceful here in my little 2 square feet of Portland.
It just reminds me of that newscaster who said, it's mostly peaceful here, and there's fire going on behind him.
Fire's raging.
Or whatever. It's mostly peaceful, though.
It's mostly peaceful. All right, so Nick Sorter's actual post on X. Breaking. It's official. Just finished up my formal arraignment in Portland, where the DA refused to
Was that arraignment?
Yes.
Sorry. I wasn't sure which arrangement you were talking about.
The arraignment.
Oh, okay. I got it now.
I'm so stupid. I'm sorry. Can I start that whole again?
Yeah, let's do it.
Breaking. It's official. Just finished up my formal arraignment. How did I get arrangement in that? My formal arraignment in Portland, where the DA refused to charge me. Here's my message to Chief Brain Dead Bob of Portland.
I love that.
Instead of slandering me on TV, focus on clearing the rot from the Portland police.
The chief, when someone posted a meme of him standing there, and it said underneath it, the headline was "Leader of Antifa."
Oh my God. I can't say it on the air, but the thing you sent me last night about Antifa sounds like communism, but with something different going on.
Made me cry laughing. I was crying. Okay, I'll tell you what. If you want to know what I was crying laughing about, go to my X page and I'll send it to you. If you request it, go ahead and DM me.
Oh.
It's Ken J. Williams. At Ken J. Williams on X.
Yeah.
And I'll send it to you. But it was so funny. It hit me. I guess it hit me a certain way.
Now, if you do get that from Ken.
Oh, yeah.
It's what they call NSFW, not safe for work.
Correct.
So wait till you get home.
Or children.
Or children. Wait till you get home. The kids aren't around. And it's nothing audio. You're not going to hear anything. It's just a funny, true thing about Antifa and communism.
I can't even. Just thinking about it makes me laugh.
And I want to say it so bad.
I know. I
want to say it so bad.
Ken J. Williams, at Ken J. Williams.
All right. And our final post on X for today's I Heard It on the X is from So Over It on X. And So Over It says, since Gavin Newsom doesn't want ICE to wear masks, what about funny noses with glasses or Frito Bandito mustaches? That would be amazing. Just saying.
Everywhere, y'all. Everywhere, y'all. I heard it on the X.
And while we're at it, why we haven't talked like Groucho Marx?
Yeah.
You're under arrest. You got the right to remain silent. Anything you say may be used against you in a court of law. Never forget a face, but in your case, I'll make an exception.
Right.
Okay. Ridiculous. ICE trying to do their job. People in these blue cities. And you know what else I'm sick of? I'm sick of people like JoJo from Jers. That little...
Yeah.
So red states are have all the crime. And it's red states, but there's blue cities within those red states. So don't say red states because you're full of it.
Right.
All right, that's next on 1019 94.1 News Talk STL. Number one for live and local conservative talk.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. The Vic Porcelli Show.
We demand a lower work week, 32-hour work week.
Very well, we'll give them shorter hours. We'll start by cutting their lunch hour to 20 minutes.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
On the next
Larry Connors, USA.
It was this date, October 7th, 2 years ago, when Hamas carried out that deadly attack in Israel.
Larry Connors, USA. Now, weeknights 6 until 8 on News Talk STL.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness One. Wellness One is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common sense science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on Newstalk STL. And you can visit us at inhstl.com. That's inhstl.com.
Listen up. The offer St. Louis can't stop talking about being held over by popular demand. Right now, Renewal by Anderson. Buy any window or door, get the next one 50% off. Plus, you might get 0 interest, no payments for 18 months. This is Renewal by Anderson, the full-service window and door replacement division of Anderson. That's a name you've trusted more than 122 years. Our exclusive FiberX frames, 200% stronger than vinyl. And remember, Anderson products increase your home's value by at least 15%. So make sure you take advantage of the offer while it's still being held over. Schedule your complimentary consultation at rbastl.com. 877-WINDOWS. 877-WINDOWS. Renewal by Anderson. This is award-winning quality, stronger windows, smarter investment.
Looking for family fun that's different? Rev up your weekend at AAA Motor Speedway in Owensville, Missouri. We're Missouri's second largest asphalt go-kart track, offering thrilling racing and safe family entertainment for all ages and skill levels. Experience the rush as you navigate every curve and straightaway. Private events available. Create memories that last a lifetime at AAA Motor Speedway. Thank you to all of our veterans for your military service. We salute you. Visit AAAMotorspeedway.com and experience the rush today.
Rhino Shield is engineered to outlast paint, formulated to outsmart the elements. Rain or shine, sleet or snow, mold or mildew. Our home exterior coatings intelligently designed to stand up to Mother Nature. Call 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor for all your roofing needs. Visit ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER Roofing.com. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019.
Whoosh.
The Vic Porcelli Show.
You're gonna like this guy. He's all right. He's a good fella. He's one of us. Understand?
On Newstalk STL.
You know what I just realized, Ken?
What?
That if you're a member of the Brotherhood of Chat Boxers Local 1019, there are dues. You know, like any other union, you got to pay union dues.
Oh, okay.
But the union dues are so easy. You just got to hit the like button and you're paid up.
And it wouldn't kill you.
And it wouldn't kill you. So hit the like button for us. Watch our streams. They're great. All the handsomeness in here. And Ken's got this decorated like Christmas. I swear to God. By the way, are you going to do something special for Christmas?
I think so.
Like lights lit?
Why not? I mean, that'd be great.
It's your box. It's your artwork, not me.
You know, my daughter, that reminds me, my daughter, you know, like college students, they decorate their rooms with lights and all that stuff. You know, we can decorate our little squares that are up there.
When I was young, 19, 20, whatever, that's pretty young. Looking back on the age I am now,
Really
it's
young?
pretty
Yeah.
young. But I used to string Christmas lights on the inside of my car. So it was all the way around.
Oh, okay.
You know, and the girls thought it was, that's funny. And then that worked out well for me, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. So, stupid mayors. This break is called Stupid Mayors. Can we hear that one again? You played before. It's Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell. And
Yeah.
I don't understand, Ken, what exactly his plan is. You have to have a plan to be a mayor, don't you?
It's beyond any kind of understanding to hear an actual leader of a city say this.
This is Seattle's mayor. So if you live in Seattle, if you get charged or not depends upon how hungry you are.
The criminal system has had a disparate impact on black and brown communities. Let me lead with that. So when this person is committing 6 or 7 crimes, I don't know his or her story. Maybe they were abused as a child. Maybe they're hungry. So my remedy is to find their life story to see how we could help first. I have no desire to put them in jail, but I need to protect you. And that's the calibration that we have.
So Vic, so there's a man, he's beating the hell out of somebody on the street in Seattle. And the mayor walks up and says, well, he's not really committing a crime. I know the other person's hurting, but he's not really committing a crime because we just don't understand. He might be going through some pain.
So while he's administering the beating,
right, and giving pain to another family,
somebody may say, "Hey, what are you doing?" He'll be like, "I'm hungry."
I'm hungry, all right? You know, I was mistreated as a child. You don't understand what I went through. Oh, okay. Well, then continue. I'm sorry. And then the police actually turn around and walk away because the mayor instructed them to do so.
Do you remember in Back to the Future 3 when Marty and Mad Dog Tannen were going to have a duel? And Marty's like, he's from the future, so, you know, he's watched a million Western movies where they always do it at high noon.
Right.
And he goes, "What time?" "High noon." And then Mad Dog goes, 7 a.m. I do my killing after breakfast. No, I do my killing before breakfast. And then Marty goes, 8 a.m. I do my killing after breakfast. And in Seattle, if you're hungry, you can kill anytime.
Anytime you want.
As long as you're hungry.
Yeah.
It's fine. All right, let's hear number 6, Ken. This guy, remember how we made fun of Lori Lightfoot?
Oh, yeah.
How dare we?
I know.
How dare we make
She
fun
was
of
conservative.
You say to when you watch Lori Lightfoot and you see some of the things happening in Chicago, you say there can't be anybody worse. And then up pops Brandon Johnson, and he's made ice-free zones.
And today we are signing an executive order aimed at reining in this out-of-control administration. The order establishes ice-free zones. That means that city property and unwilling private businesses will no longer serve as staging grounds for these raids.
Was it Rosanna Dana on Saturday Night Live that would say things that, and then she'd say, "Never mind"?
No, that was Emily Latella.
Oh, okay.
Rosanna Dana would say, "Hey, you got a little ball of sweat to hang from your nose."
Because it's an ice-free zone and then you're sweating. But
Emily,
the other one,
Emily Latella used to say,
"What's all this I hear about flea erections in Canada?"
Right, that's the one.
And then he'd explain, it's free elections.
Oh, that's very different. Never mind.
Right.
So which one do you want? Rosanna Dana or Emily Latella?
Latella, because in an ice-free zone, she'd come in, she'd say, "Ice-free zones, I just love ice-free zones because I'm cold all the time," something like that.
I'm hot all the time.
Or I'm hot all the time.
So funny. All right. So again, I'll say this one more time. If you are Michael Burton, right?
Yeah.
Who listens to the show, I don't know why, he hates us, and you want to be a mayor, take a look at Bruce Harrell in Seattle and Brandon Johnson in Chicago, and don't be like them. Don't be like them. Don't do things just because you hate Trump, because your political life depends upon it.
I just thought of something really interesting. I think anyway. We've been talking about good citizens and how they feel about their response to these things. What if you're a criminal? I mean, you've got to be loving this. So you got on one side, you're up in Seattle, and the mayor says, "No, you're okay. If you committed 6 or even 7 crimes and hurt families like that, I want to make sure I understand your life. What's going on with you? Why are you hurting?" They've got to feel good about that. So you got one guy who's committed 2 crimes.
Right.
He said, "Well, I've got 4 or 5 more I can commit."
Right.
Then you go to Chicago and you're an illegal, and you got a mayor who controls everything there apparently. And he says, "Whoa, well, I guess I'm okay because I can go to that ice-free zone and no one can touch me."
Right. And if you're in Seattle, they'll say, "Are you hungry?" "I'm starving." "Okay, go ahead."
Well, then you're
Just
okay.
Beat him up.
Beat him up.
Kill him if you're starving. You can kill him.
And we'll give you a public defender and you'll be okay.
So, Ken, I don't know what to do about something we talk about all the time, accountability by the press, but by people in office too. They have to be accountable for things they say, things they don't say, lying by omission, like you always say. And the story was that an ICE agent was boxed in by a bunch of Antifa vehicles and feared for his life. I think it was a woman, actually, feared for her life. And people are saying it didn't happen. That didn't happen. Our police officers always respond to every call.
Think why they said that, though. When Joe Biden was walking away from all of the G7 people, they were saying, "No, you didn't see that. He was He was doing something else. He was in thought. He was just going off somewhere to think for himself, right? It was not true, but they told you what to see and what to hear. What they're saying there is the same exact thing straight out of the playbook of the Democrats saying, no, you're not seeing what you're seeing.
And let's add the Pfizer media into it, because on a smaller scale, but not really, this morning the Today Show was talking about the shutdown, and they said the shutdown going into its second week. I'm like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days is not a week.
Right.
But
right.
They're saying it started last week and now it's moved on to this. So to them, that's 2 weeks. 5 days is 2 weeks to them.
Well, now that you mentioned that, I have a question about that. I listened to the same thing, and I saw the Today Show this morning, and they're talking about how people are suffering from this thing.
Yeah.
Okay. But don't they understand that it's the Democrats that are at fault here?
Oh,
so what
no.
they're doing is they're actually supporting the idea that they want to stop it by the Republicans on the Republican side. Okay.
And the Republicans have done everything they can do. They handed them a clean, continuing resolution, and they didn't go with it. They want $1.5 trillion to give health care to people who don't belong in this country.
Exactly. And if you listen in for a little levity coming up on Thursday, we're going to feature, of course, Caroline Levitt, but she's talking about that, and she's saying, listen, all they need to do is continue this resolution, to accept the CR. Nothing's going to change. We're not adding a thing to it. It's clean, but the Democrats want to add $1.4 trillion to it to take care of illegal aliens. All we have to do is just pass it, and they won't.
And they have to own up to the fact of the things that they're saying that just aren't true. Sorry, got off on that.
We
Didn't
did.
mean to
That's
do
okay.
that. But let's get back to Chicago, because the dispatch audio. This is the dispatch audio. The lady that tells the police officers where to go when they're in their cars, and they were told not to respond.
Okay, 10-4. And one is for the hit and run. This guy fled from the scene at 37th Place in Kedzie. It all started at I-55 in Kedzie. Then they fled southbound at Kedzie, where that offending vehicle crashed. They ran the federal agent off the road. They fled on foot westbound 37th Place from Kedzie. It was a male Hispanic younger wearing all black clothing.
Yeah, send the cars in that direction. Have them stay put 2 or 3 blocks away, all right? Have them hold tight until I give you further direction, please.
For the units responding to 39th Place in Kedzie, if you guys can start heading there as quick as you can, and then just hold tight for instructions with 999.
999.
999.
Put the chief of patrol, clear everybody up. We're not responding over there.
Radio check. And again, per the chief of patrol, we have all the units that per 999. Chief of patrol said all units clear out from there. We're not sending anybody over to that location.
So there's a guy, Ken. He was on yesterday holding a press conference. He was the chief of patrol, I think. And he was saying that, yes, ICE officers were boxed in, because the left was saying, no, they weren't, by the way.
Yes.
And we always respond. We will never not respond. Well, you heard it right there. They're not going to respond. Why is that?
And if you listen really closely at the dispatcher, she's kind of distraught. She kind of hesitates, because she's saying that, yes, we're sending. In fact, someone said, if you listen, we'll play it again. They're saying, well, we're going to get there as soon as possible. We're a few blocks away. Then another guy gets on and says 999. He said, we're not responding to that situation.
Go ahead, play it again.
Away, all right? Have them hold tight until I give you further direction, please.
Stop.
So that
right there, have them hold tight.
Yep.
Until further direction. So now it's like they're splitting hairs with what was said. We didn't say to stand down. Well, you didn't say to report either. To respond to where the problem was.
Well, that was the part I was talking about, where they were saying, yes, hold tight. We're actually going to come. We're going to be there.
But not closer than 3 blocks.
Right. Not yet. Because wait for instructions, he said.
Right.
Okay. Then.
Go ahead.
For the units responding to 39th Place in Kedzie, if you guys can start heading there as quick as you can, and then just hold tight for instructions with 999.
So what she's saying there, okay, at this point, she's thinking, okay, well, they're setting up, they're going to go in, but they need to go in together. So they're getting it all together. They're getting it ready to go in to help them.
But that wasn't the case, right?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
$9.99.
He starts to respond. $9.99. She said, okay.
$9.99.
So the chief of patrol clear everybody up. We're not responding over there.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So he said, according to the chief of patrol, didn't he?
Yeah. Listen.
So the chief of patrol clear everybody up. We're not responding over there.
Per the chief of patrol, we're not going over there. That was the guy, I believe, who said we would never stand down for one of our brothers who are in trouble. And the ICE people were in trouble.
Yes. And then that's when the dispatcher.
Radio check. And again.
Radio check. Somebody says radio check. Like, I don't know what that meant.
I don't either.
But it's really weird because someone said radio check. Like, what? That's the way I took it. Like, are you sure?
Per the chief of patrol, we have all the units that for $9.99. Chief of patrol said all units clear out from there. We're not sending anybody over to that location.
Wow.
Did you see how she hesitated though?
Yeah, she didn't understand why. She didn't understand why.
She's looking at it and she's probably thinking, wait a minute. Okay, I guess I got to say this. And I don't know what the latest is on that, Vic, but I think there were some police officers who did not go by what that one person was saying.
So they responded anyway?
They responded anyway, yeah. So there were police officers doing the right thing, but I don't know, this guy, this leader said no.
So he's not the chief of patrol, obviously. In the chain of command, he's below the chief of patrol, this guy we heard.
Right.
And $9.99. I thought it was for this low price of just $9.99. Right. That's the way he sounded when he said it.
Yeah.
But so what was going to be the result of that? That ICE agents were boxed in, Ken. They were absolutely boxed in. There's video of Antifa in a SUV slamming into the back of a police car.
I think this is worse than even we're talking about right now, because this is a flashpoint. If they say the ICE agents, God forbid, were killed, okay, that meant that the police force did not respond to something, and it resulted in law enforcement getting murdered.
Sometimes you got to wonder and maybe say, all right, you know what? You want your city to fall apart? Go ahead. Go shoot each other every weekend. How many people? 50 people were shot over the weekend?
Here's the exact opposite of what they think about President Trump. He is so upset about this. He wants those people, the citizens of that city, to be safe. And he's trying to do whatever he can to keep them safe. That's all he's doing. How else is this president going to benefit from this?
Yeah.
He can't.
Right. And he wants to benefit and the safety of all citizens.
All.
Nobody seems to get that. Nobody seems to get it. I don't understand. The older I get, the more I watch, the less I understand.
Yeah.
All right. Crime prevention. Just what we're talking about. We'll talk to John Lott, the president of Crime Prevention Research Center. He's next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL on a Tuesday. No whooshes, no double whooshes, just a regular old single whoosh Tuesday.
Whoosh.
Is your retirement income at risk if you or your spouse needs nursing home or in-home care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money, Saturday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL 101.9. The cost of long-term care is one of the biggest risks in retirement planning. For many retirees, a single nursing home stay can cause a significant reduction in assets that can permanently reduce your retirement income. Fortunately, there are affordable and flexible options available today that can help you manage the cost of long-term care. Our team can help you address the risks relevant to your retirement, including long-term care. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Now, the Free Market Minute, brought to you by the Hammond Institute for Free Enterprise at Lindenwood University.
Hey, it's Mike Ferguson from The Morning Show. I am here with Dr. Grant Black. And Grant, entrepreneurship, it's one of those buzzwords we hear a lot about, but is entrepreneurship really important to the economy?
It definitely is. Entrepreneurship is a consistent contributor to economic growth. It creates new products and services that people value. It creates the new businesses that provide them. It fosters innovation that improves productivity, and it increases beneficial competition. It generates jobs, income, wealth mobility, and even tax revenues that all support and enhance communities. Entrepreneurship matters, so we need to help it thrive in all our communities.
The John W. Hammond Institute for Free Enterprise at Lindenwood University fosters and examines market-oriented approaches to economic and social issues. To learn more, visit hammondinstitute.org.
The Napoli heritage of fine dining continues with Napoli Kirkwood. Napoli Kirkwood, now open. So add that to Cafe Napoli in Clayton, Napoli 2 in Town and Country, Napoli 3 in St. Charles, right next door to Napoli C. And don't forget about Napoli Brothers Pizza and Pasta in the district, Chesterfield Valley. All of those locations, plus now, open Napoli Kirkwood.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. Attorney General Pam Bondi says during the Biden years, the FBI secretly investigated members of the Senate with the ultimate goal to, in Bondi's words, take President Trump off the playing field. Bondi is testifying this morning on Capitol Hill. She's appearing before the Senate Judiciary Committee. And defending the deployment of out-of-state National Guard troops to Chicago, Bondi tells Democrat Senator Dick Durbin of Illinois, if you're not going to protect your citizens, President Trump will. Today is day 7 of the government shutdown, and there's no end in sight. For a 5th time, the Senate has failed to pass a Republican spending bill that would have ended the shutdown. House Speaker Mike Johnson says if this mess isn't resolved soon, there could be big trouble.
I can't imagine that it could go longer than a week, because in the middle of this month, on the 15th, that's when the paycheck, the paychecks being withheld gets very real.
Johnson on the Salem Radio Network. President Trump says there are talks between Republicans and Democrats. He's hoping for a compromise over the health care issue. Israelis marking 2 years since the deadly Hamas terror attack that touched off the Gaza war.
Hamas units had stormed army bases, farming communities, as well as the outdoor music festival, killing some 1,200 people, mostly civilians, including women, children, and old adults. 251 others were abducted. Around 20 of them are believed by Israel to still be alive.
Correspondent Charles De Ledesma. Efforts to end the war in Gaza are ongoing, with President Trump's peace proposal still on the table. There's a new tropical storm churning out in the Atlantic. The National Hurricane Center says the storm, named Jerry, has its sights set on the Caribbean. The Dow is down 101 points, while the NASDAQ is off 34. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind, to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my 2 sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-226-5454. That's 800-226-5454. 800-226-54.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Rodney and Jen Wallner and the entire Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway. Call them today at 314-810-SOLD. 314-810-SOLD. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Autumn air rolls in today on the backside of a morning cold front. Unfortunately, rain chances remain low. Any rain's going to be isolated and will not put a dent in the drought. Mostly cloudy to overcast skies will dominate, and as winds swing out of the northwest, highs only in the low to mid 70s today. Big drop. Quick clearing this evening leads to clear skies overnight. Much cooler tomorrow morning, down to 52. Wednesday and Thursday look gorgeous. Sunshine, high around 74. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand.
Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me? Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
All right, hour number 2 of our 3-hour tour begins right now. This Saturday, the Price of Freedom event, 4th annual Patriots Banquet, honoring real American heroes. And some real American heroes are going to be the featured speakers. Colonel Jack Jackson, who test flew Harrier jets. That the story with the Harrier jets, Ken, was that they turned around upside down and exploded. I mean,
yeah, early on, I mean, when they were testing them, you'd see when I saw one on video. This was when I was a kid, actually. It would take off and it was standing there, also just kind of went flipped over on its top, upside down, and just landed and blew up.
Most people would run from that. Colonel Jack Jackson said, "Yeah, I'll fly that."
Yeah.
So he's talking, and so is Doug Giles, and your master of ceremony is the one and only Jamie Allman from NewstalkSTL. That is this Saturday, 5 to 9 at Parish Hall on Nyer Road in Union. Be there with the Washington Guard. And Colonel Joe Adams, of course, will be there.
Yeah.
You can give him my love. He likes me, right?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
He does.
I hope so. I don't want him to throw me into a volcano. Okay, let's talk to Jack Lott.
John.
They call him Jack. His good friends call him. Do your good friends call you Jack, John?
No. They did that for my dad.
Thanks a lot. You could have got me out of that, but that's fine. And
well, maybe you thought you were talking to my dad.
Maybe I was. Yeah. I didn't realize you were the younger John Lott. All right. So John is from the Crime Prevention Research Center, and some of the things that the left tries to blame on the right, they don't even bother researching. They don't even bother having a little meeting that says, "Hey, this isn't right. This wasn't a right-wing person. This was one of us who did it." I guess that's the conversation, John.
Right. Well, I mean, particularly since Charlie Kirk's assassination, there's been a lot of news stories that have claimed that overwhelmingly these extremist murders are done by people on the right. And they've been using data, usually when you're talking about the New York Times or the NPR or other places, from the Anti-Defamation League. And the Anti-Defamation League claims that between 2022 and 2024, all the extremist murders in the United States were done by people on the right. The thing is, unfortunately, the media doesn't look at how they classified these cases or how they came up with them. You have people that like the time after time, like the Buffalo mass murderer, who was a racist. But if somebody's a racist, they automatically classify them as a right winger, even though the Buffalo mass murderer, who killed the most people on their list at 10, classified himself as an eco-terrorist. He called himself a mild authoritarian leftist. He called himself, he hated blacks, but the reason why he hated blacks was he thought that people having children was damaging the environment, and that blacks were having relatively more children than other groups. Maybe I live a very isolated life, but I don't know many conservatives that call themselves leftists or, eco-terrorists or
Right.
fascists, or are against people having kids.
Well,
So,
I got a question for you, John, because I as the ADL evolved, I said to Ken before we started with you, I said, wasn't the Anti-Defamation League, didn't they used to stick up for Jews in this world? And they don't anymore. And what happened there?
Right. Yeah. Well, the other thing is anybody who's anti-Semitic, they immediately classify them as a right-winger. You would think, in the last couple of years when they watched the demonstrations and riots on campuses and other places like that, they might come to believe that a lot of this anti-Semitism at universities and what have you is from people on the left. But, you go and you look at the classifications for these things, and a lot of these guys, I would say overwhelmingly, that they classify as right-wingers. I think almost anybody would classify them as on the left.
It's just amazing to me because I always say this to Ken. Whenever there's a shooting like this, I always say to Ken, the shooter is never what the left hopes it is. And it always is on their side, right? The Highland Park, Illinois murders. The guy said his hostility toward Trump. The Nashville shooting, that's where we never got the manifesto for months and months. Connor Sturgeon murdering 5 people in Louisville, all on the left, all hatred of Donald Trump. So why do we let them get away with jumping on the narrative? I'll tell you why, Ken, because they're not being on the offensive. We're not being on the offensive.
Exactly right.
Somebody's got to jump in and say, hold on, Pfizer Legacy Media, before you start saying the guy's a right-winger. No, he's not. I mean, we got to say that, John.
Right. So you mentioned the Nashville shooter, which they say they are unable to classify her views, the school shooter there.
Yep.
There you have an individual who, was very upset about white privilege, that wanted to go and, quote, kill all the little crackers that are there, referring to the white little children, who railed over and over again about the wealth of the parents and the families that were there at the school. She complained about the nice clothes that the kids were able to wear and the nice backpacks that they had. It's pretty hard to go and obviously she was trans on top of everything else, and felt that conservatives were out there to commit genocide against trans individuals. So, I don't know how somebody goes and classifies somebody like that as, or saying that they don't have enough information to classify them one way or the other. But, it's just one example of kind of the misclassifications that they have.
It's because the left and the media jump in front of everybody else with common sense and says something first. And usually the first thing people hear are the thing they remember. And that's what they go with when it comes to narratives. Joe Biden stood there and told us that white supremacy was the existential threat to this country.
Yep.
And yet we're seeing nothing but other people do the shootings. All right. Let's talk a little bit about the Crime Prevention Research Center. Tell us a little bit about what you do there, John, and what we can expect to see from you.
Well, we're a bunch of academic researchers. I've had positions at Stanford, Yale, University of Chicago, the Wharton Business School, UCLA, and I've been chief economist at the U.S. Sentencing Commission and more recently senior advisor for research and statistics at the U.S. Department of Justice. And, we have academics at Harvard, the Wharton Business School, University of Chicago, University of Michigan, who have done research on crime and related issues. And so, if it's something on policing, if it's something on vote fraud, if it's something on gun control type issues, there's a good chance that we've done something on it. But, we recently just finished a major study looking at errors in the FBI's reports on active shooting cases. The media and courts and others rely on the FBI data for going and trying to measure things like the rate that civilians use guns to stop active shooting attacks. The FBI claims that about 4% of them, but what we document is that they've missed most of the cases. It's actually closer to 36%. And the problem has gotten worse over time. If you look at the data for last year, the FBI claims that there are no cases, that there's 0 cases that occurred in the United States. We think it's 48%. And if you separate out gun-free zones, places where it's illegal for these law-abiding citizens to carry a gun for protection, we think it's 63%. You can't expect law-abiding citizens to carry guns in places where it's illegal for them to carry it to stop these attacks. So 63% is a lot different than 0. And as I say, the size of the errors has gotten bigger over time.
John Lott, president of the Crime Prevention Research Center. Thank you so much for your time. Tell Jack we said hi, okay?
Okay. All right.
All right.
Take care, Jack.
See ya. So, Ken, today is October 7th.
Yeah.
And 2 years ago, this station was down at the powerhouse at Union Station. And when this story broke, the horrific things they were saying, reporting on, just made people with any kind of conscience and moral compass say, my God, what is happening here? And since then, all we've seen are attacks. When I say attacks, verbal attacks from students at colleges from the river to the sea. They don't even know what they're really saying.
They have no idea what they're saying.
But they want to be on Elon Omar's side and, free Palestine. And it's not gotten any better. As a matter of fact, today there's an uptick in anti-Jewish, anti-Semitic rallies going on around the world.
And this is what I always think about. Maybe we should go back to the moment, as bad and heart-wrenching as it was, that moment when we were watching babies being slaughtered, little Jewish babies being slaughtered. 1,200 people, Vic, were murdered on that day. And yet, from that point, and I never imagined it. When it happened, I thought to myself, okay, this has to be a turning point to where people are going to get on board with being against this whole anti-Semitism thing. Not at all. In fact, it picked up. It almost revealed people that were waiting in the wings for something to happen to step up and say, yes, see, the Jews deserve it. I mean,
Yeah. There was, the images that I remember, the one that I can never get out of my head is the woman who was at this festival. They're having a music festival, peaceful music festival.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
And Hamas came parachuting in.
And they're looking up and they're saying, oh, wow, is this part of the show?
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
So they land, they start shooting people. And then there was this one girl in the back of a truck and you knew she was dead. You know how you knew she was dead? Her leg was in a position that somebody alive wouldn't be able to take that kind of pain.
It was contorted. Yeah.
And she had been, assaulted, sexually assaulted, thrown in the back of a truck and then paraded down the street. That's the one image I can't get out of my head, among others.
Yeah, there was the one young lady on the motorcycle that they grabbed, and she's pleading to please don't do this, and they just took off. They drove off. Another one, the girl gets out of the back of a Jeep, and they run her. She's bleeding, and they run her into the back of the Jeep, and no telling what happened to her. I don't know.
She went from the back of the Jeep into the back seat of the Jeep.
The back seat, yeah.
While her hands were tied behind her.
Yes.
Terrible images. And so that was on the 7th of October 2 years ago, which was a Saturday. And then Sunday, 8, 9, no, it was a Friday. Because I remember on the 9th, for some reason I remember that on the 9th of October, which was the Monday. Yes, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so Saturday. And then was when it happened. And then the Monday, we were not scheduled to talk to Karen Cataline. But Kenny got her on the phone. And she was very emotional. Said some very nice things about us, And she didn't really know what to say. That was the weird thing. She did say things, but she really didn't know what to say. So she just talked from the heart. Now let's talk about okay, you're going to say something?
Well, I was just going to say that if you remember at that time, a few weeks later, she started breaking down and crying because she said that she felt safe being in the United States as a Jew, but not anymore. And then that's when she really broke down, if you remember, because of all the things that were being said, like even to today, Vic, from the 2 years ago till now, I think every single conversation about this situation should start with October 7th. Yes, but look what happened. Look what they did to Israel. But it's never that. It's always tonight on the news, more they call them Palestinians, that more Gazans have been killed. Okay. But why did they start getting killed? Because Hamas used them as shields, and Israel has no choice but to take them out because of what they did on October 7th. Everything should start with October 7th.
Think about how we felt on September 11th when it was time to start finding who did this and get them, kill them, smoke them out.
And that was nearly 3,000 people, 3,000 Americans who died on that day. And Vic, I go back to this number. This was the number that gave me chills, is that if you put it into American citizens, the number of Americans terms, it would be equivalent to 28,000 people being murdered on that day.
Right.
What would we do? What would the United States do to somebody for killing almost 30,000 people?
And how do we expect Israel to not react the same way?
Exactly right.
So President Trump, I'm sorry. So once that started, then, Israel started bombing Gaza and bombing Palestinians and Hamas. And President Trump shared a message in response to Hamas' statement regarding his peace plan.
I want to thank the countries that helped me put this together: Qatar, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Jordan, and so many others. So many people fought so hard. This is a big day. We'll see how it all turns out. We have to get the final word down in concrete. Very importantly, I look forward to having the hostages come home to their parents and having some of the hostages, unfortunately, the condition they're in, come home likewise to their parents, because their parents wanted them just as much as though that young man or young woman were alive. So I just want to let you know that this is a very special day, but thank you all. And thank you all to those great countries that helped. We were given a tremendous amount of help. Everybody was unified in wanting this war to end and seeing peace in the Middle East. And we're very close to achieving that. Thank you all, and everybody will be treated fairly.
Ken actually grabbed some new audio. What do you have, Ken?
Yeah, it's Egypt's foreign minister, Badr Abdelhadi. Now, here's the thing. He's being interviewed, right? And during this whole time, you're thinking to yourself, okay, you've got all these different Gazan refugees. They want them to be safe, of course, the ones who are innocent. So let them become refugees and go to Egypt and go to, just any country that surrounds Israel and Gaza, right? I mean, it makes sense, right? No, nobody wanted them. Nobody wanted these people because they are so indoctrinated and militant and hate so many different people. They thought, well, we're going to go ahead and leave them to where they are. If you've ever seen pictures of Egypt's border with Gaza, it is intense. It has razor wire. It's like double high of whatever we would put up. It's 5 times as thick. I mean, it's amazing. And there's a reason, because they don't want them in there.
Well, let's hear what he has to say.
Yeah, this is, he's saying displacement. And he uses an excuse that's called displacement.
This is a real humanitarian crisis. If vulnerable people want to come into Sinai, should Egypt let them in?
Come on, let us be serious. There is no what's so-called voluntary displacement or forced displacement. Displacement is displacement. The Israeli intention is to eradicate people from their homeland.
But I'm talking about the Palestinian people. They want to flee on their own volition because they are nervous. Should they not be allowed in?
If those will leave their own homeland, they will not be entitled to go back. And that would be the liquidation of the Palestinian cause. And we will not allow this to happen.
So he can't say we don't want them here, like I explained. But what he says is, no, we don't want them to leave their land, because if they leave their land, then it'll be taken over. So we want to keep them there to keep their land. That's just such bull.
And finally, on this October 7th, I'll never forget Kafir and Ariel Bibas, the two youngest hostages who were killed, and their mother. And, you know, during their funeral, somebody said the smallest coffins are the heaviest.
Wow.
All right, let's take a break. And, you know, there's just, I don't know, it's just an emotional day. And I can't believe there's not more about it. Like, are we the only ones doing this? Are we the only ones talking about this?
I don't know.
Anyway, Ken, not to pat myself on the back, but my I don't like your face meter was 100% accurate.
Oh.
We'll explain it.
Okay.
Next on 1019 and 94.1. News Talk STL. Welcome home.
The Vic Porcelli Show on News Talk STL.
Report cards are a good way to show how well your kids are doing in class and where they might need improvement. We at the Show Me Institute believe schools should get grades too, so parents can see how their child's school compares to others. That's why we came up with the Missouri School Rankings Project. Click on the website moschoolrankings.org and it's all there. Rankings and letter grades for all the schools in Missouri. The rankings are based on categories such as student performance in English language arts and math, ACT scores, and graduation rates. Then we take the rankings and come up with a grade point average, just like your child has. Each school and district has a grade, and the website is easy to use. And now we've added spending data for every district, so parents, taxpayers, and policymakers can see where the money is going. Don't you want to know how your child's school stacks up? Learn more at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
The Herzog Tomorrow Foundation provides private school tuition scholarships through Missouri's new Most Scholars program to cover the cost of accessible, high-quality schooling.
Hi, this is Mayela Esser with the Herzog Tomorrow Foundation. Our private school tuition scholarships wouldn't be possible without the support of generous Missouri taxpayers. If you're a Missouri taxpayer interested in redirecting your tax dollars and sending them to Missouri students in need of a better education, please contact me at herzogmostscholars.org.
Better education for students creates a better tomorrow for all. Learn how you can help provide a better education for Missouri students at herzogmostscholars.org. That's herzogmostscholars.org. Also, sign up for The Lion, an initiative of the Herzog Foundation that carries articles covering a wide range of issues facing American families and culture. herzogfoundation.com. That's herzogfoundation.com.
If you find yourself feeling out of place in the world, it's comforting to know conservative values haven't been abandoned everywhere.
Thanks for being my voice in all this.
This is News Talk STL.
There are people out there that feel the way that I feel and say what I say.
Welcome home. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Vic. Yo, Vic.
On News Talk STL.
.1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. I'm Vic Porcelli. That's Ken Williams. This is Blondie you're listening to. I love memes. I love funny, non-hurtful, just fun memes.
Yeah.
And the caption was, Debbie Harry gets an inspiration for a song. And she was in the supermarket, and Tide detergent was up on the top shelf. So the tide is high. You got it?
Yeah.
The tide is high.
The tide is high.
Oh, funny.
That's
right,
good.
Enough of that. All right, Ken. I'd like to say something. I like to give myself a little credit here. You know, I don't do that too often. But when we first heard about Jack Smith being the prosecutor to prosecute Donald Trump, I said to you, Ken, I don't like his face.
I think before we even reported on Jack Smith, that was the first thing you said. You said, all right, 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. You know that Jack Smith that we've been hearing about today? Yeah, I don't like his face.
Hey, let me tell you, that is a pretty accurate barometer of somebody's character with me.
It's you've been in. You have a pretty good percentage of figuring people out
Pretty good
based on that.
scoreboard, and it doesn't take much sometimes. Look at him. Look at his face.
Yeah.
What if you're his wife? You know, and he comes home from work, and she's like, "What is wrong with you now? What is your problem now?" He probably never smiles at home.
Right.
I don't like his face, and I was right.
You were right.
Okay.
Pat yourself in the back.
Thank you. Can't reach him, too fat. So President Trump on Newsmax responded to the news that Jack Smith, listen to this, talk about not liking his face and being right, tracked private communications of Republican senators. Ken, that's number 3. Hit it.
Jack Smith, we just found out that he had some of your key allies under surveillance, wiretapping, finding their phone records, everybody from Tommy Tuberville, Lindsey Graham, Bill Hagerty, senator from Tennessee.
Yeah.
Did you hear about this? I did not know. Nobody had any idea.
A little while ago, I did. He was a sleazebag, Jack Smith. He was a bad guy, terrible guy, always went too far. He was a violent, horrible prosecutor, and he's paying the price. I tell you what, he's people, what he did to the lives of so many people, and he tried on me. This guy was a bad guy. And, you know, the reason he lost is because he went too far. When you go too far, sometimes you get away with it, but they didn't get away with it here. Jack Smith was a sick person.
And sometimes you just don't like his face.
Right.
I mean, it sounds so stupid what I'm saying, but there are people that I've met in real life, people that I've worked with, when I'd be like, I don't like his face. I can't do this.
I'm just amazed that this was allowed to happen. It was called Arctic frost. And they did this to American citizens. They did this to politicians, and they're getting away with it. If nothing happens to these people, Vic, if nothing happens about everything that's been going on for the last 4 to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, it's over because they'll do it again.
Yeah.
If they get the majority in 26, if they get the majority in 28, you talk about you think things are happening right now with the Democrat Party. It's going to become communism. You're going to see the most indictments, impeachments, you name it, against conservatives that you've ever seen in your life.
Ken, I'm sure they tracked phone calls and communications from conservative radio people.
Well, I mean, if this has been proven, what was to stop them from doing anything else?
I guarantee they were doing it.
Yeah.
If they were doing it to senators, why would they not do it to conservative radio hosts?
Exactly right. Yeah.
So one of the people that they also tracked was Senator Ron Johnson from Wisconsin, and he's pissed.
This doesn't surprise me, but it should shock every American of what the Biden administration has done. By the way, this is the first time I was targeted by the FBI. Under the Obama administration, the same thing happened to both Senator Grassley and I. As part of the Foreign Influence Task Force, we were giving a briefing to try and convince us that the Hunter Biden laptop was no big deal. Basically, they're trying to throw us off the track. So this is major corruption.
This is how serious this is. I mean, this is really, really bad. And I think it started with Barack Obama.
You know, we had Yakov Smirnoff in here when he was playing at the Funny Bone. And I liked Yakov Smirnoff's comedy. And then I met him. And then I loved him even more.
Yeah.
Because he was so engaging and fun, you know. And one of the things he says in his stand-up thing is, I saw that in the newspaper for a furniture store. It said, we stand behind everything we sell. That's why I left the Soviet Union. Because they stand behind them.
And it's funny. But it's so true.
But you didn't laugh.
Well, because you've said it before, and I've heard
it's
it.
It's okay. Somebody might not have. Ed McMahon laughed at stuff Johnny Carson said that he heard. Thank you. Thank you, Ed.
Johnny, you're just such a funny guy.
To spur them on.
I get it.
To spur them
on. I get it. But that's so true, though, because if they're standing behind
everything they sell, that's why I left Soviet Union.
Right.
What he's saying is, you know, the monitoring the phone calls. Oh, God, help me. It's so, I mean, okay, so let's put this right up to the president. Who's responsible for this? Who is accountable for this? Who is going to be the Republican senator or representative or Dan Bongino or Kash Patel that's going to step up and say, you know who it was? It was you, Barack Obama. Who's going to say that? Nobody's going to say that because nobody wants to be on the offensive. They always just want to let Democrats have whatever they want.
I've actually seen on Newsmax people saying that.
Saying what?
Being interviewed and saying it's Barack Obama who started all
being interviewed.
I don't know the names.
Well, it's got to be somebody.
Yeah, well, it is.
It's got to be somebody because
I'm saying that in passing, I heard people saying that. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. And I didn't get their name.
That is the problem. In passing. It can't be in passing anymore.
No, I was in passing. I was listening to it. He was being very sincere and very serious about it.
I get it.
Okay,
Who was listening to him? Who was being too in passing, just listening to them?
Newsmax, probably a lot of people.
I don't care who it is. They need to get out on the offensive and say, Barack Obama did this.
Exactly. No, I totally agree.
They have
with
no
that.
problem putting Donald Trump, a former president, on trial. Why are they so afraid to put Barack Obama on trial?
Well, I don't think they are afraid. I think they need to just do it. There are many people out there who believe what I'm just saying. What I'm saying about Barack Obama.
I completely believe it. I completely know what you're saying. I just don't know. Since you've heard that, what has happened?
Nothing.
Since you've heard that,
no.
Who's got on the offensive and said, "Hey, Barack Obama"?
You sound a little frustrated.
I am,
I'm right with you. And I think there are a lot of people listening right now who are really pissed off at the Republican Party for not moving.
This isn't enough. This isn't that they were listening to their private phone conversations.
They even had a name for it, Crossfire Hurricane, that started it all.
That's not a kick in the ass enough to get on the offensive and say, hey, what in the hell is going on here? This is America.
Right. All these people who are involved, Brennan, we're talking about Comey, we're talking about, go down the list. There's a huge list of people from the Obama administration that were directly involved in this. Then, not only that, but after President Trump, during the whole time President Trump's first term, they were doing it to him. Then he loses quote unquote loses the 2020 election. And guess what? There's a whole new group of people that were farmed in to do the same exact thing to him until the 2024, right? November 5th.
Right.
Then now we have a whole new crop of people who are resistance 2.0. They're doing the same exact thing. They're embedded bureaucrats that are using lawfare as judges.
So this whole conversation started with Jack Smith. I don't like his face.
Right.
And I was right. And it's not the first time I've said that on the air about somebody, and I was right. I forget who it was. Oh, I knew who it was. Never mind.
I'm really glad you didn't say it about me.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, did you really at first?
No. But it was somebody else who's been in this building.
Really?
Yep. Didn't like his face.
All right.
And I was right.
Okay.
Hey, Tim Jones, the handsome MAGA Speaker of the House afternoon guy on News Talk STL, is going to be out at the Daniel Boone Library at 300 Clarkson Road this Saturday at 9 a.m. to talk about tax increases and legislative updates. And nobody better to get it from than Speaker Tim Jones.
You got that right.
All right. Ultra MAGA.
He'll be on with us tomorrow, by the way.
Speaker of the House. I love this song. I know it's stupid.
No, it's great.
Okay.
Some would say that this was like one of the first rap songs ever.
Rap? Sure.
Right.
I don't think it's a religious thing.
No. Rap. Sure.
All right. Drew Thomas Allen is next. Let's see what he's pissed off about today. That's always fun.
All right.
All right. That's next on 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home.
Stream the Vic Porcelli Show at News Talk STL.
Hi, this is Yakov Smirnov, and you're listening to Vic and Ken on Vic Porcelli Show on the News Talk STL.
You're amazing. And nobody can do it like you do it, man. That was so smart. So smart. Hey, Yakov, if you want to get a picture, a guy just line up against this wall. It means something very different in Soviet Union. Oh, my God. Ken laughed at a joke of mine. Write down the day and time, would you? All right. Our friends, Kathy and Rob Connor, they're so good at what they do. I mean, if you go and find a Google review of them, you'll find out that the best thing is total great customer service. And that's not even a big enough word. You know, it's got to be something better than that. Loving care, tender, loving, something.
We'll work on that.
Yeah. Well, because they don't know what they're doing. They've only been doing this for 30 years, so they need help from two idiots like you and me.
Right.
Honest estimate, quality work, great people, great customer service. We love them. And Kathy and Rob Connor are also very benevolent people. They're always helping out charities and nonprofits and stuff. And I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, I am too, Vic. And I'm working with them right now, and they discovered some things about my house that I didn't even know about. But they let me in on it, and I'm really glad that Rob in particular with the house actually discovered these things. So you might experience the same thing if you use them.
There you go. So get them on the internet. Easiest way to do it, ConnorRoofing.com, CONNER roofing.com.
St. Louis's new choice for conservative talk, live and local.
I need to know what's going on in my city.
News Talk STL.
Hi, I'm Jen Wallner.
And I'm Rodney Wallner with the Wallner Home Selling Team at Berkshire Hathaway.
Hey, Rodney, how do you sell your home for top dollar?
That's easy. Call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
What if I want a flexible commission rate?
Call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
When's the best time to sell your home?
Right now. Call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
For all your real estate needs, call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
That's 314-810-SOLD.
This is Larry Connors, and my favorite sandwich at Capriati's is a Philly cheesesteak with peppers, sweet peppers, but sometimes hot peppers. I love Capriati's, and so will you.
Open 9 to 9 daily on Manchester at midnight in Rock Hill.
Fox News commentary with David Marcus next.
Rising debt, stock market swings, and global shocks can affect your retirement. But even in this economy, there's still opportunity. Protect your retirement with a secure, tax-advantaged gold IRA. Instead of leaving a 401k or IRA at the mercy of markets, hold physical gold or silver. Real protection for your future. And Noble Gold makes it simple. Visit NobleGoldInvestments.com and chat with a specialist. The conversation is free, and the peace of mind is priceless. NobleGoldInvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals involves risk. Consult your financial advisor before making investment decisions.
Here's David Marcus.
Do you feel that? I asked my friend Carol as we slowly walked through the ruins of Kfar Aza kibbutz. Bullet holes everywhere in the walls of the humble houses, dishes in blood-soaked kitchens. It had been 6 months since the savage Hamas attack on Israel of October 7th, where now and then we saw plumes of smoke after earth-shattering explosions broke through the afternoon quiet. 2 years ago today, Israel changed forever. The barbarism was so ferocious as to be indelible. I plucked a very pretty flower and pressed it in my notebook and said a little prayer that one day children would once again be laughing and playing in Kfar Aza. For that future to unfold, this feeling I felt had to go away. Do you feel that? I asked Carol. Yes, I'd felt it before. You have? I said. When? Carol stopped and simply said, Auschwitz.
For more commentary like this, go to foxnewspodcast.com.
Colombo and Company.
Neither side showing any signs of backing down. How long could this government shutdown last? We'll talk about it Tuesday. Plus, Crane Durham from NothingButTruth.com and Susie Moore from Red State.
Live and local weekdays at 2 on News Talk STL.
In the shuffling madness of the locomotive breath.
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
I can handle things. I'm smart. Not like everybody says. Like dumb, I'm smart, and I want respect.
Respect. Not the way Pop wanted it. All right, Drew Thomas Allen, our great friend, who I can't believe we bothered this poor guy while he was on vacation to talk to us. And he said yes. That's crazy.
Drew Allen of the Drew Allen Show podcast.
It's people who love this country and respect freedom and want to preserve it for the future. You know, it really shouldn't be political.
Amico mio, come stai?
Ciao, buongiorno, Ciccio. Sono molto contento.
Beautiful Italian Drew speaks. Good morning, Drew. How are you?
Hey, good morning. I'm great. Good to be with you.
Thanks for, on your vacation. Why didn't you tell us? We wouldn't have bugged you on your vacation.
Come on, man. I don't live a life that has real vacations. I still have to work and do my PR publicist job, and I got the book stuff going on with a publisher, and this is the easiest. This is the best. So anyway, I'm talking to you from Pensacola, Florida.
You need somebody to renegotiate your contract. That when he's on vacation, he gets to be on vacation.
Right.
All right, that was the first thing I wanted to say. The second thing is the Freddie Mercury mustache. I'm digging it, man. The new Freddie Mercury look. I love it.
Oh man, it's so funny. My wife, hopefully I make this interesting enough so the audience isn't yawning saying, "Get out of here, talk about, the Democrats or something." But my wife finally encouraged me to do the mustache, and I thought, finally, I tried to do this 10 years ago, and she was like, "Ooh, you look gay," or something like that. So I went for it, and I had this bushy kind of Tom Selleck thing going, which I was excited about. And then I went to get a haircut with my barber, and he's Latino, right? So my barber made me look like either some kind of, Hispanic Mexican guy, or it was getting a little too short to look a little like that German guy named Hitler. So anyway, it's grown out a little bit, and it looks good, and I'm excited about it. But anyway, I walked home so excited about my barber trimming it up, and she's like, Are you Latino? I was like,
Are you Latino?
Are you Latino?
So funny. All right, since you
Anyway.
said that, let me just a quick story that has bugged me for so many years. Barack Obama, while he was president, was being interviewed, and somebody asked him, "Well, what would you say to the Latinos in this country?" And Barack goes, "What I would say to Latinos is, why does he get to use the Spanish accent on the word Latinos?
And then not for everything else.
If I did it, everybody would jump all over me making fun of them."
Oh, you're appropriating language.
Am I right, Drew?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's so funny too, because these people aren't actually particularly cultured. It's not like Barack Obama speaks Spanish or something like that, right?
Right.
It's like the guy went to Paris one time, and so he comes back to Starbucks and he orders a coffee and a croissant. It's
Right.
like, dude,
I say it like the French. I want that. He died. He spoke French. All right. So let's get stop screwing around, Drew. Let's get going here. So today is October 7th, and the anti-Semitism in this country somehow, Drew, has gotten worse to an unbelievable level since the terrible massacre on October 7th.
Yeah, it's unprecedented in my opinion. A lot of it's coming from, obviously we've talked about Candace Owens and people like that on the show. I don't even want to bother this day, talking much about her, but she's a contributor to this climate of anti-Semitism, and it's very clear, it's very disgusting. A lot of these people, of course, seem to forget the day it happened, that October 7th. That Israel didn't start this war. Hamas started this war, and they've still got hostages and haven't given them up. And I would remind people the analogy I use, if that happened to, somebody on the border in Texas, El Paso, or you go into Austin and, Mexican cartels came in sanctioned by the Mexican government, to slaughter a bunch of, American citizens at the South by Southwest Film Festival or Music Festival, we'd burn Mexico to the ground until we got our people back. And for some reason, all this pressure, well, it's not for some reason, there's anti-Semitism is what's driving all of it. It's fine to be critical of Israel, obviously, like you can be critical of the United States, but when it crosses a threshold and becomes, you just hate the Jews and you hate Israel, and that's what's going on.
The crazy thing is, Drew, that October 7th, it was almost like a light being turned on and watching all the cockroaches scatter. They came out of the woodwork. And on X, I'm reading right now, Candace Owens says something, and this is unrelated, but it kind of goes along with it because she's actually one of the people that came out of the woodwork. Did we ever figure out who exactly the UVU TPUSA student is that rushed to push aside the other student who was trying to describe what he heard and saw on 9/10 with regard to Charlie Kirk's murder? And then you replied with, "Yeah, that's great. Let's dox a bunch of college students. Great idea." I mean, that's kind of where we're at, though, Drew. Don't you think? We brought them out of the woodwork. Now we're going to have to deal with them.
Yeah, and it's fine. They don't deserve any respect. We just have to continue to treat them like the joke that they are. I mean, these aren't serious people. Obviously, they have their fan base, and those people are either, have the same ideology or they're just stupid, and I'm happy. Look, I don't hate stupid people. I'll talk to you all day. I'll bring you over to the side eventually. You just, I have patience. But yeah, I mean, it's just, the lens. I mean, the best way to explain it, as we've done on the show many times, is it's Trump derangement syndrome, except, it's not Trump that's the target. It's Netanyahu and the Jews and Israel. And so the lens is the Jews are evil people. Israel is an evil country. And so therefore anything that happens, including the assassination of Charlie Kirk at the hands of a deranged left-wing indoctrinated, student who's got a trans boyfriend, that somehow has to become the handiwork of Israel.
Yeah.
That is, in some ways, I think the Israel derangement syndrome crowd, like Candace, like they're actually more sick and twisted and perverted than even the Trump derangement crowd.
I'd like to highlight another one of your things on Twitter, which made me laugh out loud. I'll ask you about who Pastor Mark is after I read the post. So Mike Lee, senator from Utah, says, "I've now blocked Pastor Mark. Feels liberating. Please join me." And Drew writes, "I just followed him." Since you blocked, just to rub it in his face. Who's Pastor Mark? What's his deal? Who is he?
Well, he's a very well-known Christian pastor. And, he's called Mormons, a cult in the past and even recently, I think. And Pastor Mark Driscoll's not a bad guy. But what this exposed, obviously, we're running out of time, but this is actually dear to my heart. And I have nothing against Mormons. I have nothing against, Latter-day Saints. Many of them are very great, virtuous people, and they share our values, which is why many of them are kind of right-wing conservatives, right? But as a Christian, Latter-day Saints, Mormons, it isn't Christianity. They can call themselves Christians, and I'm not hating on them, but you can just say, "Oh, I'm a Christian, but I believe X, Y, and Z," which contradicts the Bible and Scripture. I'm sorry, I'm not going to allow that to happen. Like, you're not going to go out there, here I am trying to bring converts like Jesus asked me, right? Spreading the gospel. And I got a false gospel out there that's trying to convert them to Christianity, but it's not Christianity, it's Mormonism, So anyway, the point is this argument discussions come up, which is important. And so all these people that are coming out and pointing out the differences between, Mormons and actual Christianity, they're being accused of hate speech and whatever else because of this recent, obviously legitimate hate crime against Mormons. And this whole thing came up for me because I just saw all the Christians saying, this is an attack on Christianity, and Christianity is under attack under America. But I genuinely, sincerely was like, wait, I was like expecting a Catholic church or some kind of, Baptist church or whatever it was, and it was a LDS church. And I said, oh, that's Mormons. That's a Mormon church. That's not a Christian church. And people went crazy.
All right. So I just want to, and I've told the story before, but I've only had one real interaction over a long period with the Mormons, Latter-day Saints, when we worked for them. Ken and I worked for
both of us.
Bonneville Broadcasting, which is owned by the Mormon Church. And, people in town like, oh, they're going to make you get 5 wives and you're going to be a Mormon and blah, 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 blah. So they came to talk to us to tell us, what the deal was going to be when they took over. And, they said a lot of normal stuff. They didn't say anything bad or anything.
No.
They said, oh, by the way, we do have a pension program.
Which was amazing that we're going to benefit
more
from.
Than amazing. It's
unheard of.
Right. Unheard of in this business of pension. So, and then the other thing they said, Drew, at the very end of the presentation was, oh, and by the way, if you want to adopt a baby, we'll pay for it. And I was like, well, that's a damn good pro-life message that I couldn't disagree with. And the Mormons are all over your Twitter page, and I don't know.
And on top of that, Drew, my experience was there were some upper level people that were brought in from Bonneville, and I would go out to Salt Lake City about once a month with the station I was working on, and they were so kind. There has never been ever in my life something negative that I thought, that's kind of weird. Now you've got your fringes, of course, on the Mormons. You got Christian fringe people. You've got fringes in Hindu and everywhere else.
And we're just, Ken and I are just two guys who happened to work for them.
Yeah.
And they were just good to us.
They were. They're great.
Well, yeah. And I want to reiterate that, like me talking honestly and objectively about their beliefs versus Christianity, which has existed for 2,000 years. That's not to say that there's anything wrong with Mormons. That's just to say that, like,
right.
As a Christian, I don't appreciate, this, hey, we just are all about Jesus, when that's actually not true. If you dig into your scripture, I mean, you have a Book of Mormon that contradicts the Bible. You believe in, prophets ended in the Old Testament. Jesus was the final one. Like, these are things that as a Christian, and these are the things that, Mormons reject. And so they actually believe they've reformed Christianity. So in other words, my Christianity is wrong and fallen, and Joseph Smith came and fixed it all for us. So anyway, it's not an attack on Mormons. I've been trying to explain that so clearly to Mormons. I know plenty of Mormons. It's not about your character. it's just me protecting what Christianity actually is, you know, and saying, hey, you know, you guys can't just like come in like the T and LGB and just like take over. You know what I mean? Like there's actually like things going on. So I think that's respectful. Like I'm not going to be silenced because, you know, people are like, oh, Drew, I don't hate Mormons. No, I've never said.
And I didn't mean to say that you did.
No. You're not. And I'm so happy y'all brought it up because that I want that to be known. I want people to understand that, you know, when you talk about religion, you know, no one's saying someone doesn't like you, you know, I mean, atheists criticize Christianity all the time. You know, I don't care. It's not like offensive to me.
Right.
I'm strong in my faith. So no, I think it's important you bring that up because there are some people out there that are bad actors and I'm not one of those people. And so, you know, you have to distinguish intention, right?
Yep. And I think that the battle between you and Candace Owens right now, and can you explain, by the way, the rise and fall of Candace Owens?
Yeah.
'Cause when I first heard about it, I was like, oh, this lady's great. I love her.
Right.
Conservative. Blah, blah, blah. And then she turned into like a loon. What's going on?
Yeah, well, I think that her main focus was on fame and wealth. It wasn't on actually building a movement that she cared about. So I think that, you know, she's expressed a willingness to kind of move whatever direction brings her attention. So if your sole objective is to get attention, well, how better to get attention than the way she's behaving now? So, you know, she lost a little steam in the past. I think it probably hurt her a little bit when she got effectively fired from Daily Wire, and they had every right to do it. And it was because of her move to express her anti-Semitic views. I mean, are you kidding me? If I'm Ben Shapiro, and Ben Shapiro wasn't even responsible for the hiring and firing, but, you know, if you work for Jews, I don't know, like if Mormons hired me and I started saying, you know, Mormons are the Antichrist every day, like you could fire me. I mean, I think that's appropriate, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, I think that she's got this, you know, vendetta against everyone. You know, I mean, she's going after TPUSA. She's going after, I think she's very insecure, guys. I think that's honestly what it comes down to. I don't know what's going on either. She's got, you know, 3 kids now, I think, and she's, you know, working full time. I just think there's a lot of stuff going on in her personal life that's feeding this kind of, I do believe it's kind of a mental illness.
I think you hit it on the early part of your little impact here because I think it's relevancy. She actually is not relevant and she's trying to gain relevancy again.
Yeah. Yeah. But what's ironic is, you know, or stunning, I guess, to me is that she could actually get more relevancy if she just talked like you guys. Like if she'd actually just talk about American issues that affect us, and she could become like a really strong advocate for America again and American values. And that would actually bring her more listeners than the fringe audience of kooks that loyally listens in because they hate the Jews too.
And, you know, I didn't put it together. That's why we love you, because you put the stuff together for us. Daily Wire, owned by Ben Shapiro. It doesn't get any more Jewish than Ben Shapiro, right? He's the Jew of all Jews, isn't he?
Yeah, dude. He's got the yarmulke on 24/7.
Always.
He's yeah. I mean, no, he's the lead Jew, okay? You know, and so yeah, I mean, if you're out there saying, you know, Hamas are the good guys, I'd fire your AWS too.
Oh, he didn't say ass.
Whoa,
He didn't want to say all the bad words he said on this show.
Ass,
didn't want to say
Don't
ass.
you cuss on this here radio.
Hey, Drew, love talking to you. Enjoy. You know what? Go enjoy your family and your
Yeah,
vacation, for God's sakes. We'll talk to you when you're home next week, okay?
I will. Thanks, gents.
You
I
got it.
love your brother. See you, man.
Love you too.
I
He's
love
so
that
good,
guy. I
dude.
swear to God, I love him.
know.
I don't know how did we run into him? How did he?
It started out just a conversation with a guy. He was with somebody else, and we had him, and
He
we're
didn't
like,
have
you
the
know
book
what,
at the
dude, you're
time.
really good. Like, you
Let's
come back
on all the time, once a week.
Yeah.
Funny guy. And he doesn't like Candace Owens, and he doesn't like just so many people he doesn't like. And I love when he just his things are like the Pastor Mark thing was so fun. I laughed out loud when I read it, and I was just like, because sometimes when you see guys like Drew fight with and make fun of people on the right, you know, our people, it's like you realize that you can't have that anything you say and do is okay and good with me.
No, right.
You know, you have
No.
to have some sort of,
And you shouldn't be that way anyway with anybody.
yeah.
You know, but if you want to follow Drew on X, this is great. Drew Thomas Allen.
Yeah.
At Drew Thomas Allen.
That's his actual thing, so that's easier to type in.
Yes.
But his name that you can change whenever you want,
Yeah.
is Millennial Minister of Truth.
Yeah.
Drew Thomas. All right.
At
Well,
Drew Thomas Allen.
2 out of 3 hours of our 3-hour tour.
Flying by, man.
Dr. Tobler is going to be here today. This
I
is
think
very,
so.
very important topic I want to talk about.
I know,
with
I
him.
know.
It's all about the vax, and vaxes. How do you, vax, is vax singular or is vax plural?
Could be. I don't know.
Could be what?
I don't know.
God, it's no help whatsoever.
Vaxes.
All right, we'll see what Tobe says. He's next.
Tobes.
Whoosh.
Jamie Allman here with the Allman Report. Pleased to be with Jordan Rosenblum. Google the bagel loan. That's what it's all about. Jordan, tell me about purchasing a home, brother.
Purchasing a home right now, it's a tough market. You're going to see a lot of competition. On the bagel loan that we have, you're going to have no closing costs, no title fees, no appraisal fees, no lender fees. Saves an average client almost $4,000 on a transaction. Customer service, unbelievable. Text, call anytime.
As I know, as a real estate agent, Google the bagel loan. Google the bagel loan, folks.
NMLS number 226715.
Hi, Kirk Hilsinger here, and I'm the new chairman of the St. Louis Republican Central Committee. I invite you to our meetings that take place the first Thursday of every month at 3710 Hampton Avenue. You can stay connected with us to learn more about how you can get involved, make your voice heard, and contribute to our shared goals. Together, we can make a difference in the city of St. Louis and the state of Missouri. For more info, visit our new website at stl-gop.com. That's stl-gop.com.
Paid for by St. Louis City Republican PAC. Curtis Farber, Treasurer.
Every 2 seconds, someone needs blood. Someone who is fighting cancer, undergoing surgery, or experiencing a life-threatening illness. The need for blood is critical and constant.
I'm Congressman Bob Onder. A single blood donation can save lives. Donate blood today and offer help and hope to those who need it most.
This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefontaine, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewstalkSTL.com.
Breaking news at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Peace talks between Israel and Hamas have resumed in Egypt. It's the second day of talks and happening on a 2-year anniversary of Hamas's surprise terrorist attack on Israel that triggered the ongoing war. Those talks focusing on a plan proposed by President Donald Trump to end the fighting. New revelations that the FBI back in 2023 analyzed phone records of more than a half dozen Republican lawmakers as part of an investigation into President Trump's actions concerning the 2020 election. Former DOJ spokesperson Mark Weaver spoke with the Salem Radio Network.
It is stunning to me, as someone who worked at the Justice Department, as someone who's been a prosecutor at the state level for many years.
And he says he's shocked that they tracked the cell phones of Republican senators without their knowledge. House Speaker Mike Johnson blaming Democrats for the current government shutdown.
They're inflicting real pain on real Americans, and they seem not to care. They're playing political games.
The Louisiana Republican says those actions have very real consequences.
We take no pleasure in this because it's not just a cat and mouse game. It's not a political contest between R's and D's. We've got millions of Americans being seriously adversely affected right now.
Tropical weather lashing the west coast of Mexico today.
Hurricane Priscilla is drenching parts of southwestern Mexico as it strengthens and moves northwest off the Pacific coast with winds near 100 miles per hour. The government canceled classes in La Paz and Los Cabos and set up shelters as a precaution. The National Hurricane Center in Miami warns of heavy swells, dangerous surf and rip currents, and possible flash flooding. A tropical storm watch is in place for Baja California Sur from Cabo San Lucas to Cabo San Lazaro. The hurricane's probable forecast has a track curving northeast and potentially impacting Southern California and Arizona this weekend. I'm Jennifer King.
On Wall Street right now, the Dow is down by 160 points. The NASDAQ down about 155. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about legal tax defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free, no-risk consultation. 800-292-7875. 800-292-7875. You have nothing to lose, but everything to gain. 800-292-7875.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Stifel, serving investors for over 130 years. Contact your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL 1019. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Tim Jones here from my great friends at Comprehensive Chiropractic, the premier chiropractic and sports performance facility in the region. How do I know? Simply put, they've helped me on many occasions. Here's another solution to your everyday aches and pains. The Studio Health and Wellness Center. Services include Pilates and yoga, both with certified instructors. I can also highly recommend the massage therapy, which is not an indulgence. It's a proven method of healing and restoration. Trust my friends at Comprehensive Chiropractic in Eureka, cchiropractic.com. That's cchiropractic.com.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-515-2397. 800-515-2397. That's 800-515-2397.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by the Trolley Stop Bakery, the official bakery of the Vic Porcelli Show. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
For a 3-hour tour, a 3-hour tour. The weather started getting rough.
We squeeze in a dry hump day under partly sunny skies.
From New Jersey to Baldwin, Missouri, two behind the microphone, taking the whoosh to the radical left and the putrid swamp. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show. Here he is, Vic Porcelli.
All right. Third hour of the 3-hour tour. Ken, you ready for it?
I'm ready.
We'll do the chat box. We'll try to get to the chat box a little early, okay? So we can help everybody out here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We try. We do.
I mean, it's tough, though. And we'll talk more about October 7th, today, the anniversary, 2-year anniversary of the terrible, terrible massacre of Jews by the terrible, terrible Hamas people. All right, Ken, give me some Tobes.
The Dr. Randy Tobler update is brought to you by Advanced Dentistry of St. Charles. Learn more about Drs. Omas and Cusimano and their team by visiting advanceddenistrynow.com.
Trombone solo by Tobes. Go ahead, Tobes.
No, you know what that looked at.
Randy Tobler.
You guys are ahead of the curve. You probably took your masks off a couple weeks before the CDC said it was okay.
Now, Dr. Randy Tobler.
What's up, Doc?
Good morning, Dr. Tobes.
How you doing, Vic?
Hey, Randy, I told Vic, I said, man, I was in a band for a long time and we had nicknames for everybody. I said, I guarantee you that they called him Tobes.
You were right. You nailed it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was in the Mafia. They had nicknames for me there, too.
Did they? What were those, Vic?
Fat Vic, stuff like that.
Vicky.
Send the fat guy over there. My God, my dog even has a mafia nickname, Sally Bones. Hey,
That's right.
Oh, you need something done? Call Sally Bones. All right, so I have a question for you, Dr. Tobler, because and I think possibly Allegro or Allegra, whatever that medicine is, started this. Okay, when you have the commercial on, you have to have all these possible side effects that go along with the drug. So common side effects in Allegra can consist of headache, nausea, diarrhea, drowsiness or fatigue, dizziness, indigestion or upset stomach, back pain, dry mouth. I'll just use my sleeve, you know?
Right.
So anyway.
Yeah, so this is the problem. You know, the FDA regs on what has to be reported as a possible side effect really include things that are just not commonly seen, but if they were seen during either the studies or in the post-marketing surveillance, someone may have had heartburn because they ate too much pepperoni pizza. And, you know, if enough people happen to report that, they don't really go to the trouble of investigating every complaint that someone has while they're on a given drug. And so they often will include those kind of things that, you know, we tend to have a lot of with any just living life. You know, you miss sleep for a couple of days and you happen to be on Allegra and then all of a sudden you got some dizziness. Oh my gosh, it must be the Allegra. So a lot of these things are not necessarily attributable, but they were observed either during the studies or in post-marketing surveillance, and they have to be reported.
Right.
And so that's what I know. RFK Jr. wants that to happen. I think it's going to happen. I think with an executive order the president did with all the online, TV advertising and stuff, to where they're going to have to. It'll run on and on for minutes. You know, every little thing that people have.
All right. So that's the list of side effects for a drug for allergies, right? For a runny nose. But yet I never hear a list of side effects for hormone changing drugs when a kid wants to change his sex or his gender. Why don't we hear about those drugs?
Yeah, because they're not generally advertised on popular media. But if you were to look at a package insert on a testosterone injection or even on estrogen for women, it's pretty extensive. It's pretty scary. In fact, I'm thankful that Marty Makary is going to change, we understand, change and eliminate that, or change, I hope he eliminates it, but at a minimum, change and downsize what's called the black box warning on estrogens that, you know, tell you can get breast cancer and so forth. So, these things are, but those aren't things that are brand named anymore without generics being available. And you don't see those things come across your media, you know, your social media or on the tube or on a radio commercial.
See, that's my confusion, Dr. Tobler. That's where I've always been.
You can call them Tobes.
Tobes. Dr. Tobler, when you watch TV and you see these things pop up like that, I always thought that it was, well, you're probably going to end up getting one of these things sooner or later. You know, that's as someone, a novice would look at these things.
I think the opposite is true.
Yeah, right. I mean, the vast majority of people won't get them. If you just look at like what used to be common in medicine, there was a book on the shelf called the Physician's Desk Reference.
Oh yeah.
And the PDR, and every drug would have basically a prescribing information on it. And in fact, you probably will be able to see that online if you're to search in the right place, and you'll see that these events happened at 10%. These events happened less than 2%. These events happened at 5%. Well, think about it. If something happens at a less than 2%, was that 0.2%, 0.0002%? If it's less than 10%, was it 1%? But even if something's happening at a 1% rate, that means 99 times out of 100, you're going to take that medicine and only get the good effect of it. And you're not going to get that particular side effect. Yet it's very suggestible, very suggestible. People, as you said, Vic, you know, once in a while, people will read those, and like I'll have a discussion about the common things we may see with a drug, and I warn them. We see it a lot with the antidepressants, and we warn folks, especially on things like Prozac and Zoloft and things like that, Lexapro, Cymbalta. Hey, in the first couple weeks, you may have an uptick in your anxiety. It's paradoxical. Over the long run, they help reduce anxiety, but you may have a little uptick in it. Don't worry about that. And we warn people, and we, can preempt some of that if we need to. And we tell them about other things that can happen that we see commonly. But then they'll often, I would say probably a third of the time from the studies I've read, maybe a little more, At a follow-up visit, 4 to 6 weeks later, 3 weeks later, whenever you do your follow-up visit, it's like, hey, how's that working out for you? I didn't take it. I read those 5 pages that I got from the pharmacy. We all know what that is, right? There's enough trees. You could kill all the trees in Northern California to print that stuff out. And then I just didn't want to take it, doc. I don't want to get those things. Well, no, those are risks. It's like, I like to go scuba diving. You can die scuba diving. Most people who scuba dive don't die. It's a risk. It's just a risk that you recognize, and you exchange that risk for the hopeful benefits that you'll have from the drug.
I think some of them get pretty drastic on that. The side effect is thoughts of suicide.
Yeah. And that's hard to know whether that's a primary function of the drug or whether it's an undertreatment, that the drug isn't adequately being used, or there's other diagnoses that aren't being treated. But that is increasingly on the warning labels of almost all the psychoactive drugs. It's like, hey, this can be associated with an increase in suicide. How you can separate that out from the underlying condition you're treating is beyond me. I don't know how they ever will be able to do that in studies. They claim to be able to do it, but we'd have to give take 1,000 people that come in for depression and are given Prozac, take 1,000 people that don't have depression or just dancing on the ceiling and it's lollipops and rainbows, give them Prozac and see who has more suicide attempts. I don't think anyone's going to do that study, Vic. It's not going to happen.
Here's my thing on this.
So,
I could be completely wrong, but if you have somebody who never thought of suicide, taking this pill, I don't think is going to make them want to think about suicide. But somebody that has thought about suicide, then takes this drug, may give them the energy to actually carry it out.
Yeah, you're right. It's a good theory. And there's a lot of complexity around this. I think the big missing component here is, and I'm speculating here, but I think most folks would process what I'm meaning. We've all had that instance where maybe it's not a mental health condition. Maybe it's a blood pressure, it's a headache, it's a pain in the hip or the shoulder. And, you're given a prescription and it doesn't work. And then you want to reach out to your doc. And too often it takes too long. You talk to the receptionist, then you talk to the nurse, you leave a voicemail, maybe you'll get a call back. It's that lack of engagement that I think we feel with our current health system. Can you imagine if you're a patient with a serious mental health condition, you're being treated, and these things are not like, oh, let's just pull a shoe off the rack and I guarantee it'll fit because you're a size 11. These things take nuance. They take sometimes a ramp up. Sometimes the first try isn't a good fit. Meanwhile, the patient still has the symptom. And I wonder if some of the frustration that people have, feeling alienated, you're often very alone, and isolation is a big part of depression. And you can imagine how people get so darn frustrated. This thing isn't working. I can't get in touch with my doctor. I'm done with it. You can see that.
Yeah.
And I'm not pinning the tail on doctors and their offices, and that's not the point here. But I think that I just always tell my patients, hey, look, here's our phone. You've got our phone number. We're here 24/7. Give a call. If for some reason I left my phone in at the house and I'm out, mowing the lawn. If it gets bad, go to the emergency room. But I think that it's the lack of engagement and the lack of a rapid cycle improvement process on a given patient's care that we just don't have. And that's why I think the system needs to be changed. Hey, I'm hearing murmurs that Johnson and friends, Mike Johnson and Mike Thune and Senator Thune want to fix that as part of these negotiations. They want to really change the look of healthcare. I wish they'd get a chance to do it, because I think I'm hearing some murmurs that they want to have some pretty revolutionary change in the Obamacare monstrosity,
sure,
which may address some of that.
So let's change topics here just for a little bit, because this is something, Ken, how long have I been talking about SSDI? How long?
Forever. Yeah, since we've been together.
So now there's a whistleblower over a bombshell report about Democrats incentivizing workers to use fraud for Social Security disability insurance.
They wanted us to try to identify them in such a way that they would qualify for long-term Social Security disability. And long-term Social Security disability is for life. So if they get identified and qualify for long-term Social Security disability, they are as good as set up for life for medical treatment. And so they instructed us to try to get the client, because once they arrive here, they're now called clients because clients pay. They told us that we needed to talk to the client and ask them if they'd had any headaches, recurring headaches, or any lower back problems, anything that would qualify them for Social Security long-term disability. We were instructed in the meeting that one of the first things we were supposed to do was sign them up for Social Security. And then after we processed them for a Social Security card, then we were to process them for a U.S. passport. So that's about the time I kind of decided, okay, I was done. I've heard everything I want to know. I was so angry about this, that they would receive a U.S. passport. It just, I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that we were giving these people Social Security cards and U.S. passports and free medical, free housing, free food, free everything.
But they deny it when they talk about, the CR. But not more importantly, but what pisses me off more is I've been saying, Dr. Tobler, I've been saying this about SSDI for years and nobody listens. And now somebody's listening.
Look, this is a really difficult discussion, and I have to be careful about this. But I really became attuned to this during the Obamacare era, when in the first few years of his first term, I'm not talking about illegals here, I'm just talking about American citizens.
Yeah.
The enrollment in SSDI went up 50%. Now, that there wasn't a sudden upsurge of disability that prevented people from working and from somehow earning a living. And then they required, they got free medical care the rest of their life, right? And other support. That was clearly designed to make dependent voters that would become a dependable vote for the Democrats. That's clearly what that is. And I think that we all know people who are on disability. If you don't know it, I think you just must be a hermit living in the basement. We all know people who are on disability, and yet, observation of their life would indicate that there's probably something they could do to be gainfully employed or part-time employed. Doctors are under pressure because doctors are now graded. They get stars online and they get stars by Medicare. Part of that grading is patient satisfaction. Doctors are incentivized to give supportive documentation. Not that it's fraudulent, not that it's false, but all they can do is record what the patient tells them. You can't, there's not a test that tells me if Ken tells me, oh, doc, every day my back is, oh man, how bad's the pain on a scale of 0 out of 10?
Oh, 10.
Oh, it's a 9. It's a 9. It's a 9 every day, doc. Once in a while it's an 8, but okay. Well, you record that. Now, there are other objective signs for pain, such as heart rate and blood pressure and so forth. But those, those are soft signs too. Those aren't in gold. You can't say someone doesn't have pain if they don't have a fast heart rate. So doctors need to make statements often that are supportive of that. They're busy. Sometimes they just want to say it, cave. They just say, okay, you say you need disability. I'm going to say you can't do what you say. You can't do what your job wants you to do and what your profession wants you to do. There's lawyers making bank on that. There's people working for the government that have quotas, and they better meet their quota of making sure they get all those SSDI applications through the system. It is so set up for corruption at the worst, and at least apathetic negligence at the least. It is a sick system, and it is abused, and there is all kinds of waste, and I have no doubt there's fraud in it as well.
I think you and I have to have a press conference. Well, you can't, I guess, because you'll get in trouble. But maybe Ken and I should have a press conference and say, what the hell, man?
What the hell, man?
Any questions?
Anyway,
questions from the press? Because
SSDI, what the hell, man?
Pain is for the most part subjective, right?
It is. And look, that's the sad part is this is sort of like calling everyone a Nazi and Hitler. It trivializes the reality of the Holocaust.
Right.
Well, it's the same deal here. It trivializes people that are true. I know people who won't get disability, and I beg them to. I'm like, man, you can't sleep because of your pain, because you insist on working, and you've got a back that looks like a landmine went off on it. And there's people on the other hand, and I celebrate and applaud those people, for their grit and their ethical behavior. I think most people listening to this radio stations probably would fall into that category. They're going to push through. They're going to work. And it's a sign of failure in their minds to ask for any help. But yes, they need some help, and I don't think any of us would say that a reasonable safety net should be denied. But boy, oh boy, we have just created this system that just is absolutely being abused. I mean, I grew up across the street from a family. They're both deceased now, but the guy was on disability and he was always crawling around in his trunk, putting in speakers. That was back in the day, doing all kind of stuff. I mean, I'm like, my dad and I would look at one another and it's like, wait a minute, we're working 3 jobs here. Hello, what's wrong?
No, I get it.
I don't know. Yeah, that's just the nature of the system. And again, I don't want people. There are many people that need and deserve and should get their disability. That's fine, but it just puts a bad that way. It's like racism too, right? When the black guy sits across the desk from you and you're making the hiring decisions, you may think less of his qualities because of affirmative action when he may be a very qualified guy.
Or you may hire him and find out he's a criminal, like the guy in Iowa.
Right.
All right. So
it's like George Bush. It's the soft bigotry of low expectations, right?
Right. And I am the decider. Okay, Dr. Tobler, great conversation, don't you think, about SSDI and all this?
Yeah.
Drug
a lot of fun.
warnings.
They're going to be tracking our phone numbers like they were tracking Hawley's now. You know that.
Yeah.
You're right.
I'm waiting for the day Ken and I go down in a hail of bullets. I'm telling you. All right,
That's
6
right,
to
man.
9.
You better keep your back in good shape because you need SSDI. And
Right.
it's gonna happen,
Oh my
brother.
God, that's so funny. Saturday morning, 6 to 9. Dr. Randy Tobler every day on the Eagle in Columbia. Thank you, Dr. Tobes.
See you, Tobes.
Thank you.
Okay, Tobes. We'll give you the solo next week.
Yeah, really.
What's he play? Trombone solo.
Yeah.
Kev, that's one instrument. I don't get it. You know, it's
Talk
hard
about taking control. You have to have control of everything to play that.
It's hard enough for me to figure out that a trumpet only has 3 things that you push down.
Yeah.
And somehow, what key, different keys.
Yeah.
You know, what notes. A trombone doesn't have anything to push or anything.
You just got to know. You got to know. Yeah.
I love it. Love trombones and tubas. I like tubas. Like the Pa song. I'm not gay, I swear to God. Okay. So listen, the British Prime Minister, the Canadian Prime Minister is in the Oval Office right now, Ken.
Yeah, let's
listen in next time when we get back.
All right.
On 1019 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home.
Follow us on Rumble at NewstalkSTL. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Putin's kleptocracy. Yeah.
This is News Talk STL at 1019 94.1 99.1 HD3 and NewstalkSTL.com. If you have a phone, you have a radio. Download the all-new News Talk STL app
Love the all-new Newstalk STL app.
and listen anytime, anywhere.
Hey, it's Susie Moore. If new flooring makes you think hassle, think again, because Michael's Flooring is changing the game. For over 30 years, Michael's has been locally owned and trusted for quality, variety, and amazing service. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, laminate, luxury vinyl, or ceramic tile, their expert team makes installing new floors exciting, not stressful. That's why customers keep coming back. Visit Michael's Flooring at St. Peter's, Starting Prairie, Creve Coeur, or online at igotfloored.com. That's igotfloored.com.
Hi, I'm Mark Sutherland, founder of Stone Ledge Distillery, and I'd like to give you a bottle of Stolock whiskey or Inversion vodka. Enter now at stoneledgedistillery.com/win. Come experience our tasting room in historic Defiance. Enjoy Stolock whiskey, Inversion vodka, and other Missouri-made spirits, wine, and craft beer in our beautiful cocktail lounge, cigar room, or out on the patio with live music every weekend. Don't forget, win a bottle of Stolock or Inversion at stoneledgedistillery.com/win. Come raise a glass in Defiance.
Looking for an underwater adventure or a scaly new friend? Dive into Tropical World Pets on Watson Road. For 32 years, this family-owned wonderland has been St. Louis's go-to destination for all things aquatic and reptilian. With over 7,000 square feet of aquariums, we're home to the area's largest selection of freshwater fish, including rare cichlids you won't find anywhere else. But that's not all. We've got tarantulas, snakes, and lizards galore. Tropical World Pets, 314-849-4020, or visit twpstl.com.
Free speech is alive and well in America.
Thanks for taking my call.
Right here.
You know what's going on?
Have a great awakening.
You see through the smoke screen.
It's cool to be woke.
News Talk STL.
Until it's not.
News, analysis, opinion. The Vic Porcelli Show on News Talk STL.
All right. Good morning. Welcome to it. 1019-94.1 News Talk STL. Kathy is on the phone. Hi, Kathy. How are you? Have you ever been on the air with us before?
I haven't.
Well, then, I hold on. I think you have to get the official welcome to the show then, because we don't let, especially women, we like to give women the special hello.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing there, Kathy? All right, so what's on your mind?
I was listening to y'all about the FSDI, and Dr. Tobler is just dead on about everything. But I suffer from mental illness, and I'm a recovering alcoholic, so dual diagnosis. And I've been in psych wards and treatment centers and everything, and the mental healthcare system in Missouri is just awful. And not only that, but it's rife with people. I mean, I was sitting in a doctor's office and having a couple people say, yeah, you got to lie to get disability. And it turned me off so bad that I just quit my application because I could find a way to work.
Well, you see, that's going exactly the opposite. This is exactly the opposite of how SSDI is supposed to work.
Right.
Here's Kathy who could use SSDI, right?
Right.
Diagnosed, and there's somebody abusing SSDI that's turned her off so much that she'd rather work in pain, whether it be physical or mental, and that's just not fair to you, Kathy. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm like on the cusp. I figured that all my knowledge, all my research, all my fortitude, all my, character elements, compassion, integrity, resilience, that I was going to be that person, and I'm getting there. So what I'm saying is that I was on the cusp. Work. But I know it's maybe part-time. So what do you do when you do have it and you need some considerations with work?
Yep, I got it.
That's the problem.
What do you got to say, Kathy?
No, I was just saying, Kathy, I used to decorate cakes and I overstressed my wrist. You just overdo it, right? So they assigned me to a doctor, and this doctor was asking me all kinds of questions. He kept leading me to like, are you sure you can do this still? And I'm like, well, yeah, I just need to repair. We're going to do a little therapy, get a wrist bracelet thing on, and we'll work it out. And he just kept saying to me, well, you got to make sure, though, it's not a thing that there's going to be a long-term problem. I'm like, well, I just think I could repair pretty easily.
SSDI is for life.
Yeah.
It's forever.
Once you do it, yeah.
Kathy, I hope you feel better. Thank you for being with us. Thanks for listening. How you doing? Okay. And we'll talk again soon.
Hey, I just wanted to say, Vic, I don't know if you remember the show, but I would buy you a bazooka.
You'd buy...
When you were talking just about the right to bear arms, and you said something about, I want to go out and buy a bazooka. I don't know. Maybe I misconstrue it.
No, I'm an idiot.
No, you're probably right.
I'm an idiot. I'm sure it came out like that because I'm just stupid, Kathy. But
no, I love you guys, and if I could find a bazooka keychain, I'd send it.
I'll take a piece of bazooka bubble gum at this point. Thanks, Kathy.
Well, you guys are awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kat.
You're awesome,
and thanks for listening up in O'Fallon. We appreciate it.
I would
y'all have a good day.
Y'all fired. I'm sure I said that.
Oh yeah,
Because
I'm sure.
what's that supposed to mean?
Because I know you love bazookas. I do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
When was the last time you shot one?
Never,
Me
but
neither.
I love them. I would love one.
All right. So the Canadian Prime Minister, whatever his name is, I don't really care, is in the White House with Donald Trump. Let's hear what they have to say. Sometime this month.
I've liked him, and we've had a good relationship. We have some natural conflict, but we will probably work that out. But we've had a very strong relationship, and your hosting of the various countries that showed up, that was a beautiful job you did, and I appreciate it very much. We're going to be talking about trade. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things. We'll certainly be talking about Gaza. We're in very serious negotiations to, I guess you could say, depending on the way you count, 3,000 years. You could say 500 years. You could say, but that it's been raging for a long time. And I think there's a possibility that we could have peace in the Middle East. It's something even beyond the Gaza situation. We want a release of the hostages immediately, etc. And so our team is over there now. Another team just left, and other countries, literally every country in the world has supported the plan.
Yep.
I don't think there's anybody that hasn't, actually, not that I've seen. But there's a real chance that we could do something. So you may have some questions on that later. But in the meantime, we'll spend some time and we'll make some deals and we'll do some things that are good for both of our countries. And Mark, it's an honor to have you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. Donald Trump and the Prime Minister of Canada talking today. Can I just say something, Ken?
Yeah.
Because he just said they've been fighting for 3,500 years or whatever it is, Israel and the Jews and the Palestinians. And I may have told the story before on the air. I don't know. But the year was 1967. It was a Saturday morning. My father and I were in our kitchen. My father's making breakfast, scrambled eggs and bacon. And the paper was on the table, the kitchen table. And I read it, and it said 7-day war ends. And I held the picture up to my dad, the paper, I mean, and I said, Dad, look, the 7-day war ended. And he got mad. When my father got mad for no reason, he'd make the mad face even. I mean, he says, nope, those people have been fighting for 1,000 years, and they'll fight for another 1,000 years.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be damned. He was right.
Yeah.
He was just a school principal, is all he was.
But
at that time, just a school teacher. Again, I'm sorry.
No, they claim that the colonizers of Israel, they're horrible colonizers, first of all, because they have no property. I mean, if they're big colonizers, everybody around them has more property than they do. But also, Vic, they've been there for thousands of years. And they're trying to claim that Israel is brand new. It was started in 47 and that's it, but they've been there for thousands of years. I also want to say, we heard that audio from Newsmax. I'm really happy we're partnering with Newsmax.
Yeah.
I really like that television, the news programs.
Yeah, me too. All right. Why don't we take a quick early break so we can get back and make everybody happy here. Okay. That was one of the requests. Can you break early in this break so you can come back and do more chat box?
Oh yeah.
It was a grievance.
Oh, well, then we have to address the grievance. We must.
Brotherhood of Chat Boxers, Local 1019.
Local 10.
I think we favor what?
I love that.
So we've read your grievance and we agree, and we're going to acquiesce to your demands. Is that okay?
That's okay.
That's all next. On 1019 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home.
Squirrel walks down street. I drop safe on him like any self-respecting villain. Who gets hit? Me. I send lady spy with package, which is really bomb. Door gets locked. She can't get out. Who gets blown up? Me.
For animated cartoon adventure, suspense, and humor, watch Rocky and His Friends over most of these stations. Check your local. Now wait a minute. Who are you?
Allow me to introduce myself. Boris Bedenoff, world's greatest no good.
But you can't interrupt the announcement.
Who says, wise guy?
Besides, what do you mean Rocky and his friends are unfair?
Unfair to Local 12. Villains, Thieves, and Scoundrels Union.
The Vic Porcelli Show. Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
Is Medicaid in Missouri in trouble? Elias Chopolis of Show Me Institute breaks it all down at 420.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps. Weekdays at 4 on News Talk STL.
From home improvement to replacement, do-it-yourself electrical projects can be
Shocking. That's where Grasser Electric can help. They've been lighting up St. Louis for years. From ceiling fans and dimmer switches to repair or replacing your electric. No job is too big or too small for your home or business. Grasser Electric will even install emergency backup generators. So call Grasser Electric today before the sparks start to fly. 636-441-5200 or go to grasserelectric.com.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down, get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
My focus is just stay focused.
On Newstalk STL.
Well, then why didn't you ever stay focused?
He didn't have focus factor, that's for sure.
He did not have focus factor or Prevagen or anything else. It may be too late. All right, Kenny, let's get back according to the union agreement or bargaining. What do they call it? Collective bargaining agreement.
Yeah.
We got to get to the chat box. Allison in first today in Rumble. Good morning, freedom fighters. Vic heads. Morning, Vic and Ken. How's that sick rabbit, Bugs Bunny? Was he sick? Bugs was. I don't
think so.
He brought it up. In English, second. I pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America. No fair elections.
No peace.
No fair tariffs.
Nope.
President demanding the Dem turds reopen the government. Trump. You could throw Grover Cleveland in there at any time.
Yo, Vic and Ken, you're the best. The absolute best. Keep taking the whoosh to those crazy radical lefties, my brothers.
My brother, he called us the brother. Good morning, all you beautiful, mega, MAGA, ultra-patriotic, deplorable, garbaging, degenerate, freedom-fighting, God-fearing, Vic-head weirdos. Whoosh. I can't leave out the whoosh. I got yelled at for that. Powerful union.
Powerful.
Very powerful union.
Very influential.
Chatboxers union. Hi, Allison, says Ed. Kenny says hi to everybody because he's very polite.
Morning, St. Louis.
Hi, Ken. Hi, Ken. Oh, yeah. Hi, Vic. What in the hell? Hey, St. Louis County, turn the page, impeach him, recall him, do something. Just get rid of him.
You're fired. Get out of here. You're fired. You're incompetent. You're incompetent. Get out of here. You're destroying our nation.
Y'all fired. I don't know. Do you have the chat box open, Ken?
The chat box open?
Do you have the chat box open?
No.
I don't mean an
Y'all
opening.
fired.
Opening to the segment. Do you have the actual chat box up on your screen?
I can.
Because I don't understand 101 straight up's comment. It says O, and then there's some crazy little thing there, and then VD.
Oh.
I don't know what that means. If you can figure it out, can you let us know?
Yeah.
Your guest, the MO Rep called STL County Cook County Light. He's wrong. St. Clair County, Illinois is Cook County Light. STL County is trying to beat St. Clair County, Illinois.
They're trying really hard.
Doesn't take much. Smoke on the Water. You played Smoke on the Water earlier, Ken.
Yeah.
A riff that many guitarists want to learn. That was on the, what was that game, Ken? You had the Guitar Heroes. I think it was called Guitar Heroes.
Yeah.
Smoke on the Water was one of those songs. I don't know why I remember that. And Machine Head is one of the best albums of all time. Yes, it was. Bondi, and Ed calls him Blondie, being grilled by the Senate Judiciary Committee right now, Ken. Why more hearings? Just get to work, get the job done, get the cufflinks out, not the cufflinks, the handcuffs, and arrest these people.
You could call them cufflinks.
Dress him up nice and give him some cufflinks. Make sure he puts his tux on, put on the cufflinks, and then the handcuffs.
Right.
She just said there is no law that the governors or mayors can sue the administration under to prevent them from enforcing federal law. So ignore them and the activist judges and get to work. Challenge them to try to stop the federal government's efforts to clean up their cities and states. Let's go. Looks like you have DMs blocked, Ken. Are you blocking our chat boxers?
Not at all.
That'll be a grievance against
that would be a big grievance. And no, I do not.
Okay.
And in fact, I have actually replied to people on X who have DM'd me for that meme. That
So Ryan,
so funny.
You have to fill out the paperwork. Heard it on the X. That's what somebody wrote. Ed wrote that. The Dem turds are butthurt that Trump put sombreros on them, but it was okay when they called Trump taco and put him in a taco food truck. Hypocrites. Don't
See,
forget.
I thought that was kind of racist when they did that to Trump. You know, when they called him a taco, it's like, what are you talking about? You know, that's kind of a stretch.
Yeah.
This, they're just saying, hey, wear a sombrero, be a part of it. If you're gonna allow them to come into the country and get everything, then wear a sombrero. What's wrong with it?
What did George Carlin say about that? That two guys invented that. One guy wrote and another guy wrote but if this guy wasn't here, then it would just be So don't forget your union membership requirement. Pay those dues. Hit that like button because, Ken, I don't believe it will kill you.
It won't.
Senator Klobuchar is such a tool. She's spewing nonsense at the AG. Thankfully, Bondi's firing back. All right.
They
Go
need
Pam.
to do that. Yeah. And I think it's amazing to me that you sit there and watch the Democrats, especially Hakeem. What's his
Hakeem Jeffries.
I can't believe he can lie like that. He just lied. I mean, there's no basis of truth at all in
None.
anything he says.
None. And you know what? If Bondi's firing back, that's great. I think Kash Patel is playing these hearings perfectly.
Yeah.
He's not even letting them ask questions. He's
No.
talking over their time, saying you're a buffoon at best.
Yeah.
About Adam Schiff. Yes, I'm multitasking, listening to Vic and Ken, monitoring the hearing, working. Whew. Man, what are you,
That's
like octopus?
Big time multitasker there.
The Chicago police were definitely told to stand down. The audio is indisputable.
Yep.
Then the fools try to cover it up by thinking we're all stupid. I want to get shirts made that said, I'm conservative. I'm not stupid.
Right. I just think that it's amazing that they tell you what to see and what to hear.
Yep.
And what you don't see and don't hear.
Yep. Oh! Unfortunately, until libturds start to listen to the other side openly and not only to MS Now or NBC, etc., they will only hear one side and be brainwashed. And that's exactly what's happening. Like, Social Security will probably be late this month. That's what they told you this morning. Got mine 2 days early. 2 days early. Facts are like kryptonite to libturds. They avoid it at all costs.
Oh.
Yet we need to... Yet we need to keep throwing it at them. Watching these Dem turds read their pre-written talking points is frankly hilarious and an insult. Don't forget, 2 years ago today, evil attacked Israel. Enough time has passed. Babe should just go out. Oh, Bibi should just go all out and immediately and eliminate Hamas. DJT, Donald, President Trump needs to know that his red line means something. Nothing. I'm getting tired now. Starting to fade a little bit. Dollar Store Obama is spewing his lies again while supposedly acknowledging the October 7th attack. He said Trump inherited a ceasefire, and then because of him, the ceasefire was broken. Oh my God.
See, this is what I'm talking about. This guy, he's incorrigible, man. I don't understand how this guy can get away with this stuff. No, I can't understand. It's the media.
Mm-hmm.
The media's, oh, really? Oh, really, Hakeem? Oh, okay. Well, we
and
just have to run with that.
Right. They'll just go right along with it. DLW says trans is a mental illness. Obama should be in prison. Republicans in D.C. have no spines.
This is my opinion. But I'm telling you, man, Barack Obama should be in prison. He should be investigated, convicted, and destroyed that way. He should be.
Agreed. We fortunately don't have public servants. We have politicians. That's what the job was supposed to be, public service. Fox News just reported that Jimbo Kibble's audience, it's Jimmy Kimmel, his audience has dropped 71% since his return.
Yeah.
So with all that sympathy from all those libs, nobody still is watching him. You know why? He sucks. He's not funny.
But we said that when we heard that he was coming back again, and I was like, don't worry about it. It's going to go right back down to the toilet as soon as he give him a week or two.
Nobody listens. Nobody listens when
everybody does, I think.
Well, you know what? Why didn't they talk about SSDI before today? Well, I've been talking about it for 2 years.
Yeah, those people. I'm talking about our listeners.
Oh, no, I get that. I'm not talking about DC.
Right. I get that.
Exponentially.
My God, yes. Whatever that means. Tobler. Oh, God, leave Dr. Tobler alone.
A little bit.
Barely Biggs, whose name is Barry, says, should I call Jeff? Hey, don't be calling her boss on us.
Oh, somebody's threatening to tell on us? Don't tell on us.
And propose a new program, Vic's Chatbox Nation. Just give us the topics and let us go.
That's a great idea.
I kind of like that. A friend of mine was a civilian QC guy in the Blue Angels program. What is QC?
I don't know, but this sounds
quality control, okay.
Maybe. Yes, maybe.
I'm guessing.
The Blue Angels, that would be quite a job.
Man, I'll tell you what. I was getting a haircut, and I was walking in to go get the haircut, and it was the weekend that the air show was in Chesterfield.
Yeah.
And the Blue Angels flew over my head. I have to stop. I can't walk away from that.
Yeah.
I have to stand there and look at them like I'm 10 years old.
Yeah.
Because I love them. Good one, Barry Biggs. That could get interesting. The chat box, Vic's Chatbox Nation. Do not take the jab if you're allergic to the jab. Don't take Ozempic if you're allergic to Ozempic.
No.
Well, how are you supposed to find out if you're allergic to it? If you don't take it and find out if you're allergic, well, don't take it if you're allergic, but I don't know. Well, then take it.
You're starting to sound like Nancy Pelosi. Don't look at that. You can't look at it until you pass it.
That's right. We are an over-medicated society because doctors treat with pills instead of treating with facts and how to counter your symptoms. Some prescriptions are still needed, don't get me wrong, but not so many. And 101 says Ed Stoid is on fire. Give him a thumbs up. I've changed my diet, workout, and only need one prescription for something that needs help. Lost 20 pounds. If 10 out of 1,000 turn suicidal, but 2 people are not so inclined, then the jab is worth it, right? I think they're conflating 2 different things. What I was saying was there are some drugs that are advertised on television that one of the side effects is may make you think about suicide.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
If you're on the edge and there's a temporary, like Dr. Tobler said, that temporary period where your emotions might increase shortly and then go back down.
And the jab is a whole nother conversation.
Correct.
Nothing to do with
not even the
So
same.
don't confuse and conflate what I'm saying, okay? You'd think they'd want drugs that don't cause suicidal tendencies, so you keep buying their drugs. You lose a customer, right? I know of several people with bad knees that get full disability SSDI, but could sit in a chair in an office working.
Yeah, I want to say it's real quick that guy that I knew that when my daughters were growing up, they were playing volleyball. He was a volleyball coach. He's spiking over the net, but yet he was on SSDI.
I know several people with bad knees that get full disability. Okay. I have an acquaintance who is a paraplegic, drives a car, goes to work, does not take SSDI, only relies on a medical aid paid for by the government to help him at home. Yet lesser others take it. That's what really pisses me off.
Yep.
Ken is having a goat day with the bumper music. Goat as in greatest of all time.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Not as in. It's really sad to see the Islamic extremists celebrating October 7th in London. How disgusting is that?
Yeah.
What kind of disgusting people are they?
That's a whole segment.
What am I
for me.
supposed to say?
I don't know. They're just disgusting.
How
They are.
politically correct can I be about stuff like that? You people
can't.
are scumbags.
They are. Okay. And they're being rewarded with allowing Islam to take over their country. Period.
Exactly.
Whoosh.
Ed Stoit, you are successful. Chatbox. Thanks, Ken and Vic, for seeing the union side on more Chop Mart. Don't go crazy, okay? Don't go nuts.
We bowed to your wishes. We
didn't bow to anybody. We had a meeting. And we decided, okay, we'll start this chat box.
They had demands, and we altered it for them.
That's part of the give and take.
It is,
isn't it?
Yes.
I was saying DOS to I don't know what you're saying. Timu Obama.
Because he's a mensch.
Hakeem Jeffries is Timu
Obama. I like that.
Thanks, Ed. We love you right back. All right. Facebook. Good morning, everybody. That's you, Ken. Good morning, Bam Bam. We know that is. That's Kathleen. It's awful. Kathleen, you got to tell me where you were, what you were listening to when you say it's awful, because I could take that very personal, and you could think that I'm terrible or the show is terrible.
Right.
So just be specific is all we ask. Eliminate she did. Eliminate the real estate tax. Stop taxing people out of their houses and homes. I bought this pen, and I paid tax on it. They don't come after me every year for personal property tax from my pen.
Yet.
Good morning, Vic Head Patriots. Thank you, Amy. Good morning, gents and fellow Vic Heads. Never forget, never again. Have a blessed day, everyone. That is today, October 7th. Scotty, I hope you heard us play the shout out that the president did for you yesterday, right? He was talking to the Navy, and he said, hey, you Navy chiefs, you guys rock. Good morning, freedom fighters. Okay, Ken, we got through every single one.
Look at that.
Every one. So now I think we have to have another meeting with the union and say, see, we got all you guys in because we started early.
That's right.
And then it was 2-3 minutes before they had to get out of the show, and they had nothing to talk about. So they just stuttered and stammered for 3 minutes. So we have to have another meeting. A collective bargaining agreement meeting.
Well, can we for a second? I'd really like to talk about this whole Muslim Islam thing.
Go right ahead, Ken. You're great at it.
Well, there are people that say, well, no, this is just a small minority. Like Christians have radicals, so does Muslims. No, this is not. It's Shia. It's the dominant religion. Okay, and they are saying that you need to do certain things that are completely incompatible with Western culture and Western Christian religion and Judeo-Christian religion. It's just not compatible. It's like trying to put a round cog in a hole that's square. You cannot do it. Try and modify it any way you can, but they've got a thing. It's called, I can't remember the word, taqiya.
Oh, you were reading into that to me this morning.
Taqiya. I was trying to figure out, because I did describe it to you, Vic. I said, here's, within their religion, they're required, if they're feeling under threat, to lie.
All right.
Lie as much as you possibly can to the infidel to make sure that you're getting the upper hand. And I was referring with Vic to Mamdani, the candidate who's running for mayor of New York.
Mm-hmm.
And I was saying he's lying. He's practicing taqiya. And that's what I looked up and found out that is actually a thing that they have in the Quran. It's called taqiya. And that means to lie in order to keep yourself from being safe and moving forward.
Ken's absolutely right. In Islam, taqiya is a religious allowance for Muslims to conceal or dissimulate their faith, beliefs, and practices when facing severe threats to their life, property, or community.
And that's what I feel Mamdani is practicing right now, taqiya, in order to get elected.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, to secure his position.
Well, earlier in the show today, we read that Rudolph Giuliani, former mayor of New York, the guy who cleaned up New York in Times Square, and he has wholeheartedly endorsed Curtis Sliwa for mayor of New York. And I'm for that.
I mean, why not? Compared to a communist, an Islamist, a communist, I don't see the problem there.
Yep.
What did Sliwa do that made people say, oh, he's too radical?
the last two mayors in New York were really bad, and Eric Adams, he kind of lied when he ran for mayor. I'm a police officer. I'm going to run things like the police do, and he didn't.
No.
And
Well, you were there, Vic, when Giuliani was there. It was great, right?
very safe.
Okay, what did New Yorkers forget?
I don't know. I know I stood there right at Times Square when the board said, "Jessica, will you marry me? Love, Vic." And we were outside in the pouring rain, I might add, and felt very safe. And she said yes. She said yes.
Yes.
Jesus.
You were lucky. I mean, that was great.
Yes, it was great. All right. Thank you so much for having the record player on at night to listen to us this morning.
Make sure you have the record player on at night.
Common Sense Radio. Here's a little twist from 9 to noon into noon to 2, right?
Right.
With the 3 martini lunch with Jamie Allman is next. All fired.
See ya.
Public schools, like public libraries, should be free and open to all. Open enrollment allows parents to choose the school that's the best fit for their children. Maybe another school has a wider curriculum, is bigger or smaller. Maybe a kid is being bullied and would be more comfortable at another school. 75% of parents favor open enrollment. Open enrollment programs now exist in 43 states, and Missouri should join them. Our next door neighbor, Kansas, has one of the strongest open enrollment policies in the nation. Kansas parents are trusted with choices and options, while Missouri parents must move out of their home to change public schools. And it's a trend. Nationwide, the percentage of students going to their chosen public school has steadily increased. Assigning kids to schools based on their zip code is the old way. Open enrollment is a better way. Learn more at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
Kathy Connor from Connor Roofing is here. Kathy, how you doing?
Good. Hi, Vic.
When you need a roof, I don't want to call a stranger. I want to call you.
Yeah, thanks. At Connor Roofing, we're more than just a roofing company.
How long have you been doing it?
Since 1993.
And year after year, storm after storm, you guys are always there.
Because this is our home too, Vic. Our kids go to school with your kids. We cheer for the same teams. Go Blues!
So support your neighbors. Call Connor Roofing at 314-375-7475 or CONNER roofing.com.
Thanks, Vic.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Belfast, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewstalkSTL.com.
Breaking news at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. House Speaker Mike Johnson says some legal analysis suggests furloughed federal workers who can't work during the shutdown may not have to get back pay after the shutdown's over.
There are some legal analysts who are saying that may not be appropriate or necessary in terms of the law requiring that back pay be provided. So I'm sure that'll be there will be a lot of discussion about that.
Johnson says with the nation hobbled by trillions in debt, it's hard to understand why the Democrats have shut down the government over their goal of spending another $1.5 trillion on health care for illegal immigrants. President Trump, like Republicans across Virginia and elsewhere, is calling for Democrat State Attorney General candidate Jay Jones to quit the race. That's after the publication of private text messages from 2022 suggesting a political opponent gets, quote, 2 bullets to the head. Senator Tom Cotton.
It seems like at the time he just has had something of a psychotic break or a breakdown with reality, and he probably needs help. But what he doesn't need to be is the chief law enforcement officer for the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Nearly 2 years after the October 7, 2023 terrorist attacks by Hamas against Israel and Israel's ensuing pursuit of Hamas in Gaza, the two sides are talking once again, indirect talks, over a U.S. proposed peace plan that's drawn international support. Military affairs analyst Lieutenant Colonel Robert McGinnis.
I think the October 7th, 2023 attack into southern Israel that left 1,200 Israelis dead and 250 or so taken captive. And we've lived out the last 2 years of the trauma that's associated with that. Clearly, the Israelis have taken this to heart. They've upgraded their military, and of course, they responded in Gaza.
More on these stories at townhall.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind, to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one